Good morning. How are you guys? How's it going? I hope you're doing well. Welcome in, welcome in. Let's see who took my first today. First was taken by Benny. Thank you so much, Benny, for taking my first today. Makes me very, very happy that you could be my first. Also, oh my gosh, congrats on VIP, Benny. Oh my god. Were you waiting? Were you waiting until I went live to hit it? Thank you, and congrats. Look at you with your fancy little VIP badge. Wow. You can flex on everyone now. And let's see who all got their daily pillows. We got daily pillows by your lovely bunny, Jeremy, Lazy, Leonix, Barb, and Ren. Thank you, all of you, for grabbing your daily pillows. I hope you can be nice and comfy, cozy with your daily pillows. Today we are playing Royal Alchemist. I do like seeing all the different games that get recommended to me on Steam, and this was one of them, and it happened to be on sale whenever I got it. I got it at the same time I got Road to Empress. I bought both of them at the same time. But this one specifically appealed to me. Also, hi Nardi, welcome in. This one specifically appealed to me because it can be played as either an otome game, so like a girl main character with a male love interest, or it could be a BL, a boys love game, if you choose the male main character, because it's still got the same male love interest. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 sort of special. What are the chances I just finished playing this and move on to the sequel, not sequel royal order? There's a sequel? Oh my gosh, I'm excited. I haven't played this. I don't know anything about this game yet, except that it can be both apparently otome and BL. So that, and it's fantasy, so I bought it. It's also like a stat raising simulator game. It looks like a lot of fun, so I'm really excited. I did run a poll on Discord to see which main character we should play, if we wanted to go otome, if we wanted to go boys love. And normally, all of my polls with you guys, you love to just tie all of my polls. You love to not make any decisions whatsoever. But you guys were pretty clear. You wanted me to play as the male main character, so we will be making this game gay today. You can choose the body type and pronouns. You can have AFAB body with the different oh, that is cool. That is cool. I didn't know that. No, yeah. We're gonna make it gay though. We're gonna make it gay. That is really neat. I love that. I love that for them. Let's go ahead and start. Ooh. Yeah, so we're gonna go, yeah. So we're with that one. And then you can do Lord, Lady, or Liege. Ooh, do I want Lord or do I want Liege? Let's do, yeah, Lord, I think. And then, yeah, but it's cool. So you could have whatever pronouns separate from the character too. That is nice. And then we'll make our name, we'll just make our name Dere. Confirm. 2 decades into his reign, the first king of Exia was assassinated. With the succession throne open and none of the 3 royal princes ready to take the throne, the king's brother has assumed the regency. Hoping to guide the rightful heir to the throne, the regent has sought help from the High Council, a neutral and influential faction of powerful mages. The delegate in assent, however, isn't someone the Eskian aristocracy wishes, for more reasons than meets the eye. You are the High Council's delegate and newly appointed tutor to the royal princes. The journey ahead is riddled with obstacles, murky intrigues, and many dangers that may let your story end abruptly. Your choices will carry consequences as you make them. Take on solely burdens you can bear and choose your path wisely. Let's go adventure mode. I like a challenge. To a joyous venture and a happy end. My lord. Hi, Barb. Oh, I see. Yeah, you're a very, very good boy, Barb. You're a very good boy. There you go. Never mind. How much longer to Fox Tracks, Captain? At this rate, my lord. Less than an hour. I nod and glance absent-mindedly out the carriage window at the scenery flying by. The night lies black and heavy over the murky forest that looms on either side of the road. You like a challenge, Mr. Godboy. It's embarrassing to be called that with no context. No trace of the waning crescent moon can be seen through the storm clouds gathering in the sky. The distant rumbling of thunder mingles with the sound of the wind sawing through the rustling leaves. An hour, he says. Will the weather hold up that long? Looks like a storm is about to break. Hard to say, my lord. We might just make it in time. Perhaps we should have stayed overnight at that inn. Perhaps, my lord. The guard glances at me and casts a sheepish grin. Can't say we're sorry to leave the place behind, my men and I. We're all very keen to see home and hearth again. Ah, yearning for the embrace of the loving wife, Captain. And to see my daughters, my lord. My youngest just turned 3 this month. She... Wow, the ambiance. A sound akin to stone splitting in two shatters the silence of the night. I bolt upright as the hair on my back of my neck tingles with apprehension. What was that? Halt! Halt! The carriage jolts to a stop. Without a word, the captain rides on ahead to confer with the escort vanguard, leaving me to peer uneasily into the now ominous woods outside my window. Captain! Captain! I demand to know what's going on this instant! We're still trying to figure that out ourselves, my lord. The captain's face reappears by the window, a little pale and worried looking. I let out a breath I did not realize that I was holding. So, hi, Jacob. Welcome in. None of the men saw anything out the ordinary. I don't suppose you... No. Maybe it was thunder? You may be right, my lord. Neither he nor I sound very convinced. Should we have the coachman press the horses to hurry a little, Captain? The sooner we reach the capital, the safer. Better, I mean. Yeah, good morning. My sentiments exactly, my lord. Turning his head, the captain rings out a series of orders, and with a jerk, the carriage starts moving again, this time at a briskest canter. I notice the guards are reining in tighter rings around the carriage, and that a few now have hands brushing the pommels of the sabers. And you, my lord? I beg your pardon? Are you looking forward to meeting your princely charges? Oh. I offer a non-committal grunt. How can I look forward to meeting people I know next to nothing about? Come now, my lord. You're going to be the royal tutor to the 3 princes of Eskia. It's an exalted position, even for a descendant of the famous Rosenkreuz dynasty. Surely you must be curious. So I am, but I try my best not to let it show. It wouldn't do for the royal tutor to appear nosy, or, heavens forbid, eager in front of a mere captain of cavalry. Prince Saren sounds of the decent sort, by all accounts. A right gentleman is our Prince Saren, every inch a worthy successor to our late beloved king. Yes, with the slightest bit standoffish, perchance? Perchance. One could say he acts out of touch with the people, but I won't do the honors. From what I've gathered, he doesn't appear to have the, common touch that Prince Nazir does. Oh, no doubt about it. The commoners love the good Prince Nazir. A fine, dashing fellow who sweeps you right off your feet if he has the mind to do so. If he has the mind to do so. But I hear he has many things occupying his mind these days. Unfortunately so, my lord. Seems to spend his days lounging around taverns, singing with troubadours, and hiding from moneylenders like a vagabond. He could spare to be a bit more like his brothers, Prince Sarim and Prince Aurelius. What is your opinion of him, Captain? For a moment or two, I watched the guard captain's mustache bristle noiselessly. After some thought, he slowly replies, Well, my lord, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet, you know. But back in my younger years of fresh-faced cornetry, I was deft chess player. Oh, he was a chess player. Swept the field in the War Academy's chess competition. I was the reigning champion, not just of my cohorts, but of my seniors and juniors, too. And the Prince Aurelius? As a reward for my skill, I was invited to the palace for a game against the prince. I was told he was something of a chess enthusiast. I hope you were diplomatic enough to let him win. I didn't stand a ghost of a chance, my lord. What? I took a closer look at the man I am speaking with. But, Captain, that must have been nearly a decade ago. Prince Aurelius was 9, my lord, when I had the honor of a match against him. Damn, he got his ass kicked by a 9-year-old in chess. That's crazy. We travel on in silence for a while as I digest this new information. Curiosity gets the better of me, and I pursue conversations with the captain about the princes once more. Prince Aurelius must have been quite the prodigy growing up. So he was, my lord, and so he still is. It's a pity he hasn't any hope of ascending to the throne. What makes you say that, Captain? The nobility of the court have themselves dead set against him. Have they? Why is that? You mean you didn't know, my lord? The prince? Captain sounds like he's about to say something, but checks himself, abruptly mid-sentence. The prince is much too clever for their tastes. You know how the nobles can be, my lord. Swollen-handed, stuck-up parasites, the lot of them. The more competent someone is, the more they detest them. Ah, but not you, my lord. You're quite capable and considerate, befitting of your position, unlike most these days. I could not prevent my upper lip from twitching. It was a grossly sweeping generalization, but at the same time, not entirely an unfair one. I did appreciate the admission of admiration, however, so I'll allow it. You're not of their estate, Captain? No, my lord. My parents are shopkeepers. I earn my commission by merit, not patronage. I smile and incline my head slightly. We, the alchemists of the High Council, share your views on the matter, and we wish more men of your stamp were in positions of authority throughout the realm. Many thanks, my lord. That's why I'm glad the Lord Regent chose one of you alchemists as the Prince Tutor. I do believe the kingdom and its morbidund court are overdue for a good shaking up. You know, the guard captain's voice trails off. His mustache bristles again, and his brow furrows downward as he begins to frown. It's gotten strangely warm here. Huh? As we were talking, the temperature around us had grown imperceptibly but steadily warmer. Before long, I realize I'm dabbing my handkerchief to my forehead, wishing I could permit myself the liberty of loosening a collar button or two. You're right. After we heard that, the sudden burst of thunder, it seems. That didn't sound like thunder. The guard captain's eyes widen. It's a trap! My lord, get out the carriage now! Oh my god. He lunges forward and wrenches the door open. As the door swings outward, I see the carriage road beneath us starting to glow blood red. Becoming rapidly hotter now, the air that blasts into the carriage might as well come straight out of a furnace fire. The road is mine! This thought had just enough time to flash my mind when the ground begins to rumble and shake. I squeeze my eyes shut and murmur the first spell that comes to my mind. As the last syllable of the spell leaves my lips, the petal markings around my neck burn to life, searing painfully against my skin. A violent force propels me upward into the air. Oh my god, no, Siri, stop. Stop, go away, please stop, Siri. What are you doing? I didn't say that. Oh god, and now I'm getting flashbanged by the screen. A violent force propels me upward into the air right before a crimson inferno erupts out the ground. I gasp, then scream before my eyes. The eruption devours the carriage, the coachman, the escort guards, the captain, the whole world in a horrific blossoming flame. A terrible sight breaks my concentration as the levitation spell I had cast, which had flung me away from the brunt of the explosion, dwindles and fails. My stomach twists with vertigo as I drop downward. A heartbeat later, I collapse onto the charred, blackened ground just outside the ring of destruction. Pushing myself up, I stare in shock at the carnage that had overtaken my carriage. Cruel red-orange tongues of flame lick the blackened outlines of the carriage, the horses, and the twisted, charred remnants that had once been men. Damn, we're starting hard. If not for the warning of the captain and the split second that allowed me to mutter a spell, I would have been one of them. Did we get him? I don't know. What's he look like? Pretty much like a human-shaped charcoal now, same as the rest of this lot. Shadowy figures emerge from the forest and onto the road to stand by the flickering flames, pointing, gesticulating, chuckling. There are a bunch of burly, scarred men in ill-fitting scrap armor. Light from the fire gleams against their equipment. I see spears, hatchets, maces, knives, even a rusty, jagged sword. Suppose he's dead? Suppose we tell boss he's dead and it turns out he's only wounded and needs finishing off. Gah. He won't need finishing off, not in this mess. Either the fire gets him or the smoke does. Someone pokes a corpse with the tip of his pike and turns it over. It was once the guard captain. This him? He's all dolled up in a real fancy-looking dress. Might be. Bit old-looking, though, ain't he? Let's see, you look fresh and nice after getting exploded by 5 crates of Falliston. The mercenaries break into raucous laughter that's grating the ears. Quietly, I rise to my feet, not daring to breathe. At the moment, they're distracted, and from the looks of it, hadn't seen me previously levitate away from the explosion. I could take advantage of this and attack them. After all, they're merely hired goons, not the master swordsmen or adept mages. I should be able to take down 2 or 3 in the initial assault, using the element of surprise. That ought to be enough to scare the rest of them. On the other hand, I can take advantage of their distraction and run away. That may not be the most glamorous thing to do, but there's no reason for me to take any unnecessary risk when I don't know the situation. And as the saying goes, the better part of valor is cowardice, discretion. The better part of valor is discretion. Which I'll do, we're gonna retreat, dude. I'm not fighting that many people by myself. Say what you like, 10 against 1 is simply not the kind of odds that I fancy. I whisper a dark spell softly to the shadows of the forest, and they respond, leaping to me and cloaking me in a veil of darkness. Careful not to make a noise, I plunge into the forest, leaving behind me the heat of the burning carriage and the laughter of the gloating mercenaries. As I run through the silent woods, I empty my mind and begin to murmur another spell, this time of navigation. When the final syllable leaves my lips, the sights, smells, and sounds of the forest flood my mind. Momentarily overcome, I have to check my pace. Clutching my burning neck and closing my eyes, I reach out with my mind to get a sense of my surroundings. The trees, from their roots to the tips of their leaves, and the animals, from the owl hidden in the branches to the panther lying amongst the brush, I see, or rather feel, them all. And they are awake and brimming with fear. The explosion seems to have startled the nearby wildlife for miles and around. It has triggered a series of fight-or-flight reactions. For the most part, the animals have scurried away from the scene, but the more curious of them are already venturing towards the site of the explosion. At the other end of my consciousness, I can sense the thugs standing around the inferno, boasting of their false accomplishments. And almost right next to me, the shining radiance of pure magic. I open my eyes and blink. An innocuous-looking wooden crate leans against the withered tree a few paces from where I'm standing. I walk over and swiftly pry open the lid. Even in the darkness, I can make out the smooth, dark red stones piled within. Oh, is that the stuff that... Yeah, that's the stuff they used to blow me up. Phlogiston. Fire phlogiston. I see. They didn't have time to make use of you, did they? I mutter to myself as I cram my pockets with the phlogiston. We're supposed to come by tomorrow morning, if not tonight. If we had stuck to the original plan and spent the night at the inn, the mercenaries would have enough time to bury the rest of the phlogiston under the ambush site, greatly amplifying the power of the explosion. They managed to do that. Even my quick-thinking guard captain and my levitation spell wouldn't have been enough to save my hide. The realization dawns on me, and so does a plan. Clenching my teeth, I start making my way back to the burning carriage. The carriage and its surroundings are no longer burning by the time I arrive. Not that it matters. There are still plenty of embers glowing amidst the ashes, which are more than sufficient for my purpose. The mercenaries are moving amongst its ruins, pushing and prodding debris as they search for something. Me, probably. No use, Chief. He ain't here. Gah! Don't gah me, imbecile. Keep looking. He escaped, didn't he? Cunning weasel. You want to tell the boss that, huh? You fancy telling him we failed? No, Chief, that's your duty, ain't it? My duty is to tell him we succeeded, moron. A loud bonk followed by a groan of pain. Just keep looking till you find a stinking corpse. Silence settles over the scene again. Another minute, a man wearing an eye patch straightens up and sighs and declares, I tell you, it's of no use. The boy escaped somehow. Seems so, doesn't it? Gah. A real shame. If he did, he's probably halfway to the capital by now. We'll never lay eyes on him again. That's where you're wrong. Being halfway to the capital by now sounded like a sterling proposition. Unfortunately, I need information, and only they can provide it to me. Oi, he's... how do I go about this? I think we gotta question him first, because, I mean, that's the whole reason why we just said we're here, is we need information, so... I'm giving you scum one and only chance to live. Who ordered you to attack me? How did you know I was traveling by this route? How did you come across all this phlogiston? Mercenaries stare at me. Their eyes are cold and the life they once displayed is gone. As if on cue, one of them opens his mouth. Then his body jerks and spins around, hatchet held firmly in his hand, and crushes the skull of the eye patch-wearing man beside him. There's no hesitation in a swing, and no remorse to be found within those black, doll-like eyes. Oh shit, he's being controlled. They've been caught, now they're being killed through magic. A frenzy seems to take hold of them. Before long, they all turn on each other, chopping, stabbing, and mauling like savages. Stop it! Why are you... There's no one left to reply to me. Not with a scream, nor with a groan, not even with a sigh. My head is buzzing and curiously empty. I lean against the trunk of the tree, fighting down my repulsion that's eager to make itself seen. My head rests against the rough bark as I gaze unseemingly into the cold, hard stars, trying to process what just happened. Yeah, it's pretty clear, like, they were being controlled through, like, some sort of magic that was preventing them from ratting out what happened. It's, like, similar to, like, when spies take, like, capsules of poison and when they're caught so they don't spill the secrets. The proud high walls of Fox Tracks thrust into the azure sky as the battlements shine a blinding white in the splendor of the meridian. I am hurt, hungry, and tired to the bone, yet I cannot help but feel a stir of awe as I take in the breathtaking sight. I nudge my palfrey onto the main thoroughfare, squeezing through the throng of townsfolk and livestock. At this very moment, I should be in the castle, soon to be confirmed by the Lord Regent as tutor to the princes of the estates of the realm. Instead, I look at my tattered, singed clothes and the raggedy palfrey I had bought for an exorbitant price at an outlying farmstead this morning and woe at the misfortune. Because of the events that took place the night before, I decided to err on the side of caution and spent most of my time painstakingly covering my trail so as to not be caught. At least, I've nearly reached the palace now. Soon I shall have my warm bath to wash myself in, hot food to eat, and a soft bed to sleep in. No, we're not, dude. They're gonna stop us in the game and be like, who the fuck are you? You're not the royal alchemist. You don't look like an alchemist. A thrill of delight shivers through me. Soon. You there, stop! See, I fucking knew it. I knew they were gonna stop me. An officious-looking palace guard in ridiculously ornate armor is blocking the road. He glares at me and waggles his spear in front of my nose. What do you think you're doing, vagrant? I'm on my way to the palace. Oh, he's on his way to the palace. Squinting his eyes, he proceeds to shriek with laughter. The other two palace guards behind him let out a little titter, and one of them makes a rude gesture at me with his hand. The palace, street rat, only emits people of quality. Be so good as to scamper back to the sewer from whence you came before I skewer you. Pardon me, you are making a terrible mistake here. I am here to serve as the tutor to the princes by instruction of His Excellency the Lord Regent. And I'm the High Queen of Carcosa, here to join the late king's harem. I mean, you do you, man. That's the delusion you want to feed yourself. This witticism provokes another shrill outburst of merriment. I can already feel my patience rapidly wearing thin. My lips purse on instinct while trying to be civil. I can't help but glare at the guard. Despite having never been awarded a patent of nobility and never having sought for one, my house is still recognized amongst the ranks of aristocracy. And as a representative of the council, I do not have to stand here and bear this idiocy. I have been ambushed by assassins, my carriage was destroyed, and my escort killed. I, myself, barely managed to escape the slaughter. So, it's not the sewers you came from, but the asylum. I'm neither insane nor lying. No, then I suppose I better let you pass, hadn't I? Yes. He moves a step aside, but stops mid-motion as if remembering something. Oh, you said you're to be the prince's tutors, as I recall? You recall correctly. Then you will no doubt have the Lord Regent's letter of appointment hidden somewhere among the rags you're wearing? The letter of appointment. I feel my heart sinking. As ordered by the council, my appointment was to be kept hidden until my arrival due to security reasons. Alas, I totally forgot about the letter. I'm afraid I've lost it. Oh, what an awful and utterly unexpected surprise. Motherfucker. The letter was in the carriage, but... Get out of my sight before I gut you like a hog, imbecile. How dare you? I warn you not to take liberties. You warn me? You warn me? Do you know who I am, maggot? Do you know who my father is? I can whip you like a cur in the street. I can make you lick dirt off my I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I could cut you to pieces and feed you to my hounds, and no one will so much as blink, so don't you dare warn me. You unspeakable lowlife. The tip of his spear taunts me as it wavers and glints. Suddenly, the guard freezes. His mouth snaps shut and he stiffens into a salute. Is something the matter, Hagen? A young man makes his way up beside me with a small smile resting about his lips. First thing that strikes me about him are his eyes, beautiful and almond-shaped. They peer out into the world from under carefully hooded lids. Staring keen and guarded, those eyes take in everything and give out nothing in return. His dark cape rustles with every elegant move, and the sound of something small and sonorous follows him. Eventually, I notice it coming from his golden earrings. Oh my god, we're like matching with our earrings. Oh my gosh. A suspicious character is attempting to enter the palace, and I was trying to chase him away. A suspicious character. Surely there must be a misunderstanding. Pardon me, I don't believe I've had the honor. I'm Derry of House Rosenkreuz, coming to receive my appointment as royal tutor from His Excellency, the Lord Regent of Eskia. Even as I confidently say this, I feel my heart sinking. The young nobleman seems friendly and influential, but there's no reason why he would be any more likely to believe these words from a haggard, disreputable-looking stranger like me than the palace guard. Against all odds, the youth merely inclines his head slightly. It's a pleasure to meet you, my lord. Please allow me to introduce my brothers. He half turns and makes a graceful motion with his hand, and for the first time, I notice the two youths standing behind him. This is Nazir. One of them looks up, running his fingers through his hair and behind his ear, meets my eye with a playful wink, his braids sliding over his cape ever so slightly. How do you do? And this is Aurelius. Oh, they're privy. Which one are we going after, gang? I take a glance at the nobleman's other companions. Beautiful dark hair gracefully falls to his hips, highlighting the fairest complexion I've ever laid eyes upon. Oh my god, he's like Sleeping Beauty. In short, he's striking, but in the most ethereal and haunting sense of the word. Aurelius holds my gaze for half a second, then glances away, the impenetrable expression on his face unchanged. I am Serin, a prince of our fair Eskia, like my brothers before you, and very much at your service. He lowers his head in a courtly bow, not entirely devoid of irony, as realization finally dawns on me. They're princes. Well, we gotta show them respect, you know? The princes, you still have to show etiquette, bro. In a flash, I slip off the palfrey, dropping on one knee before the prince. Your Highnesses! Long, delicate fingers touch my shoulders, lifting me to my feet. However, they leave long before I can even recall their touch. There's no need to kneel, my lord. After all, you are to be our tutor. We are the ones who ought to be showing you respect. Your Highness, you don't seriously believe the ramblings of this character. Yeah, with the looks going on, or like the black purple. Yeah, I'm kind of torn. They all have their own unique charm points. We'll see how things develop naturally, you know, once we get to know them a little better. But I do. Can you not see these, Hagen? Prince Saren inclines his head ever so slightly in the direction of my neck. Understanding his intentions, I loosen my collar a bit, revealing the petal markings. The little eyes of the palace guard squint again, his lips working silently. These petal birthmarks are the birthright of every Rosenkreuz, and a symbol of their unique gift, their affinity for all 6 elements of magic. This lord is indeed the royal tutor, and our uncle, the regent, most anxiously desires to meet him. But, your highness, he hasn't got a letter of... I vouch for him. In his response, there resides the faintest hint of steel within his silky, smooth voice. The palace guard blanches, even though the Prince Saren's external demeanor does not alter. Lowering his head, he obediently stands aside. Saren turns to me with a gentle smile. This way, my lord, if you will allow me. I smile back, and falling in a step alongside the prince, finally walk under the towering, arched gates and into the great sprawling palace of Fostrax. New grimoire characters unlocked. Oh shit, let's go. There's me. Oh, there's our stats. We got 5 etiquette, 5 intelligence, and 5 leadership. Wow. We still need charisma though, and combat, and beauty. We gotta max out our charisma and our beauty, baby. I gotta become beautiful. We got Saren. Oh, these are like all the things that we can level him up in. Oh, he learns light magic faster. Okay. And then he can learn the theory of this. So he does light and wood the best. Nazir. His affinity is fire and wood. Oh, fire and wind. There we go. And then Aurelius. Water and dark. Wow. Okay. Daily life. Oh, there's the different endings. There's 8 endings. Daily death. Characters. Okay, okay. Prince Saren takes me past the garden forecourt into a sumptuously appointed antechamber within one of the palace's wings. I hope you will forgive poor Hagen. He is new to his job and clearly requires a great deal more, manners, self-preservation, intelligence, pedigree, polish. Just so, polish. Here's to hoping poor Hagen gains it quickly. And before he challenges another Rosenkreuz or some other nobility that are less gracious about letting him walk after crossing them. I'm afraid I must now take my leave. There are preparations I had to make for the state dinner, so the palace staff will attend to all your needs from this point on today. Thank you so much for helping me, Your Highness. It was my pleasure. He nods politely and leaves the antechamber. Then when he steps outside, a dozen maidservants and butlers stream into the room as if summoned out of thin air. Truly, my thanks for your assistance cannot be fully articulated into words, Saren. Water and dark. I know, I'm kind of leaning towards either Saren or Aurelius right now. We'll see. Aurelius is like the genius one, so maybe I'll mesh more with him. We'll see though. We'll see how it goes. I aim the thought of gratitude after the good prince as a pretty maid in a frilly dress leads me gently by the arm to what she assures me will be the fanciest bath I've ever seen in my life. The remainder of the afternoon passes by in an indistinct blur. I am conducted into a luxurious bath of scented soap and multicolored bubbles where I, at last, wash off the ashes and blood in the steaming hot water. When I step out the bath, my clothes are laid neatly out on a bed, crisp and clean, next to a large white towel, still warm with the sun. A maidservant enters the chamber the moment I finish dressing, carrying a tray laden with pastries, fruits, and piping hot tea. Ah, this is the life, bro. As I sit on a fur-lined couch nibbling a buttery scone, savoring the rich herbal aroma left by the scalding tea, the nightmarish events of the previous night seem to disappear. But the respite does not last long. A somber butler in an immaculate black suit soon glides into the room and announces in a funeral tone that this evening's state dinner, in honor of the High Council, is about to begin. Friends, countrymen, and honored guests. Sorry, he's so white, it took me by surprise. It threw me off guard, he's so white. Before we begin tonight's state dinner, there's an announcement I wish to make on behalf of the Regency Council. The Lord Regent, the late King's younger brother, appears to be a subdued-looking gentleman with graying hair and a tired voice. He speaks standing next to the empty throne, and his voice is barely audible over the chattering crowd of Eskian citizens milling about the throne room. I tried dating a failed alchemist. Sadly, we just didn't have chemistry. Hi, J-Bomb. Welcome in. After much deliberation, the Regency Council has decided upon a candidate to be the realm's royal tutor for the three princes. At these words, the chatter between those in attendance quickly increases in volume. I see glances dart my way, not all of them friendly. He is the scion of the ancient and noble house of Rosenkreuz, an accomplished practitioner of the art of magic, and a foremost member in the High Council's most worthy order of obscure nobodies, useless upstart potion makers. Leave magic to the mages, alchemist. A storm of harsh laughter and scorn bursts from the nobles. My jaws clench as I dig my nails into the palm of my hands. How dare they? Order, order. Thankfully, the disruption does not last long. The blatant contempt is hardly partaken in by anyone aside from the nobles. Representatives from Eskia's circle of mages, which should be eager to participate in the outrage after having their colleagues in the High Council appoint me in their stead, are looking at me sympathetically. I sincerely urge our peers in this palace to conduct themselves with dignity befitting their high station. The clamor dies down, but the lackluster sentiment by the aristocracy keeps an unfortunate, strong hold on the atmosphere of the room. As I was saying, we in the Regency Council have determined. When the Lord Regent drones on, I start surveying the room, trying to decipher the lay of the political landscape. The nobility presents an almost uniformly hostile obstacle to my new duties. High up the balustrade, the high nobles look down on me, cold and implacable. They do not shout or jeer. They don't need to. Below them, their vassals, the minor barons and counts, are all too eager to bark at their master's bidding. The mages are divided. Half of them regard me with undisguised disapproval, as an interloper encroaching on their traditional area of prerogative, which, in all fairness, I suppose I am. The other half observe me with detached curiosity, as though I were a new and potentially interesting specimen of mouse about to be experimented on. The few alchemists in the hall, from whom I expect expressions of support, offer none. Hemmed in between the nobles and the mages, they make self-effacing groups trying not to be noticed. A few of them smile at me, more out of pity than encouragement. Being young and high-spirited, the princes should be governed by a temperate and moderating influence, the more in the instruction of an art as subtle and perilous as that of magic. The princes, I wonder how they're doing. Trying to keep myself from yawning, I cast my eyes about the room for the three young men I met earlier today. Prince Seren is standing at full attention immediately to the right of the throne, with his hands clasped behind his back, his face a mask of dutiful attention. Next to him, Prince Nazir slouches against a pillar. He catches my eyes and offers a lazy wink. The gesture prompts me to smile in acknowledgement and reply. The idea to survey the room must have also occurred to the Prince Aurelius as well. He's scanning the great hall from one end to another, brows creased in slight frown. Our gazes meet. He stares keenly at my face for a moment before his eyes flicker away, quite impersonally, to the person next to me. Let us therefore wish the new royal tutor every success in guiding their highnesses, the princes of Eskia, on the paths of wisdom and virtue. May they flourish under his guidance. Sounds like the Lord Regent's address is winding down at last. To Dere of Rosenkreuz, to our tutor to the princes. For a second, absolute silence reigns. I feel my cheeks flush. A ringing noise fills my ears. Then, "Hear, hear!" Prince Nazir shouts cheerfully as he claps, which echoes through the cavernous room. Prince Seren joins him in the briefest instant later, adding his applause to his brother's. Then Prince Aurelius too is clapping, and soon so is everyone else in the throne room, with every display of enthusiasm. Nobody wishes to be seen holding back, or worse, jeering, when their future sovereign, whoever he may be among the three, is applauding. My lords and ladies, I formally declare the state dinner for this evening open. I'm almost sure I hear a sigh of relief from the Lord Regent as he steps down from the podium. At the far end of the throne room, trains of servants bring out our silver platters piled high with steaming and aromatic delicacies. With great eagerness, the assembly of nobility breaks into little groups, shuffling their way to the buffet table. Oh shit, it's a little buffet, let's go. I pause, wondering with whom I should speak to over dinner. Who should I talk to? I think let's go for Prince Aurelius right now. With a cup of wine in hand, I comb through the ballroom in search of Prince Aurelius. However, he's nowhere to be found. None of the guests I ask know where he is, nor do they sound terribly interested in finding out either. Darn. Oh well, it is what it is. Eventually behind a small table tucked in the farthest corner of the throne room. There he is! Prince Aurelius sits a bit further away from the table. He leans forward at an angle that lets him rest his elbows on his thighs while staring at the glass of wine resting in his hand. I move to stand behind the chair opposite him. Is the spot taken? His eyelash flutter as he glances at me, just for a second, and then quickly looks away. I don't see anyone else. I dare say this isn't the most welcoming invitation I've ever received, but I'm willing to act on it anyways. As I sit down, the scent of western flowers envelops me. The aroma persists faintly in his proximity, but mixed with the red wine in his hand, complements his appearance so well, I suddenly recall some members of the council referring to him as an exotic beauty. Sorry, that's so fucking funny, because he's like the only white guy. How does it feel to be called exotic white boy? You're not going to join the ball? Evidently. Why not? Why aren't you? The prince's inscrutable gaze falls upon me, with its intense intention either to provide an answer to my question or listen to any answer of mine. I wonder if the princes have the same father but different mothers, or maybe the same mother but different fathers. I mean, it's a king, so odds are they probably all have different mothers. That's kind of just more par for the course with like a lot of these. The princes are from like different mothers, but they all have the same father. Curiosity rises within me as I set my cup of wine aside, a gesture Prince Aurelius mimics. Something the late guard captain, may he rest in peace, told me tugged at my mind. He had said there was no love lost between the nobles and the youngest prince. Should I ask? Would I be prying if I did? Fine, I'll take a guess, or the conversation will indubitably go nowhere. From my understanding, you don't greatly like the noblemen here, do you? I suppose I like them about as much as they like me. Which is to say, not at all? I mean, the kingdom's filled with darker-skinned people. Him being white is technically exotic. It's just so funny to hear. Because normally I'm the one getting called exotic, dude. You ever have somebody hit on you and be like, a Latina, that's so exotic. I hear that shit all the time. It's so fucking weird, dude. I've never been with a caramel girl before. I hear that shit. Unironically, people tell me that shit. It's fucking weird. Don't do that. Don't. Life hack. Don't do that. I applaud your perspicacity? Why is that? I had some $5 words in this. Why, I wonder? His tone could have not have conveyed it's none of your business more clearly. Had he outright said it, the words may have been somehow kinder than this. Very well, your highness. I could take a hint. I was starting to have my doubts. I stand up, feeling affronted. My curious about the youngest prince does not transcend my pride as a Rosencrantz. If you'd rather not put up with my company, you could have said so at the beginning and thus saved both of us the trouble. To save what remained of my dignity in front of the prince, I make my move to leave, stretching out my hand to take my wine glass. At the same time, Prince Aurelius reaches out for the very same wine glass. Just as I realized that, by my mistake, I was reaching for the wrong glass, our hands touched. I feel him tense up, then jerk away. The abrupt movement of the Prince Aurelius' hand knocks the glass cup from the table. It falls and shatters, spraying wine all over the floor. The floor was not the only victim. I stare in dismay at the dark droplets staining the front of my shirt. So I'm both unwanted and repulsive. Good to know. What happened, Your Highness? Oh dear, oh dear. The two servants materialize out of thin air, towels and mops in hand. One of them turns to me, bowing. Don't worry, my lord. We'll soon take care of it. Thank you. I look up to see Prince Aurelius glaring at me as though it were somehow entirely my fault that we ended up in this predicament. We'll just, you know what? We'll just be courteous. He's already probably overstimulated from the ball. Despite not wanting to back down, I would not be so childish as to glare at a prince, no matter how annoyed I may be with him. Instead, I give him my most charming smile of apology. I'm so sorry. That was awfully clumsy of me. I kneel down and take a spare piece of cloth from the nearby chair. What are you doing? Helping the servants? You don't have to. I am well aware of that. He glances at me from the corner of his eyes. His gesture doesn't give away any of his thoughts. Nearly half an hour passes before I'm done helping the servants clean up. All the while, Prince Aurelius just stood by the table, observing me in a pensive silence. When we are done at last, he motions the servants away. It's getting late. I'm going back to my room. Good night, Rosen crows. Good night, Your Highness. I receive a curt nod of acknowledgement. Prince Aurelius walks in long, rapid strides into the crowd and out of my sight. Well, let's go. Wait, where was it updated? Unless it's... Oh, okay, yeah. It's hard to strike up a conversation with him. I don't think he likes my company very much. I like how we have that in our notes. Just in case we didn't realize that he doesn't like talking. I take my leave from the state dinner as soon as it's polite to do so. I haven't had a wink of sleep since the night before last, and the effects are starting to take their toll on me. By the time I reach my room, my eyes feel incredibly dry from trying to keep them open. So hi, Berserk. Welcome in. Let me drink some water. I pry my clothes off and change into a nightgown, finally collapsing onto my bed. Without missing a beat, darkness engulfs me. Lotus? The rich but calming aroma of lotus flowers pervades the room. I groan as I push myself upright, blinking through the cobwebs of sleep. A slim hand places a steaming cup of tea onto the end table beside me. I take a sip, savoring the slightly bitter aftertaste. Thanks. I'm happy to be of service, Master Rosenkreuz. I look up to see a demure-looking young woman standing next to the bed. She has a quiet, attractive face framed by long silver hair. Her ears are long and pointed like knives. I half-consciously touch my own ear and ask, I beg your pardon, but are you a homunculus? I am. She dips into a graceful curtsy. Being magical creatures shaped from all 6 elements of magic, homunculi are very rare even within the High Council. My father, the council's most skillful alchemist, had once tried to make a homunculus. He called him Tobermory, sleek and gray, indistinguishable from a kitten, apart from the fact that he speaks in human tongue. That alone had taken all his attention and energy for an entire year. To my sincere amazement, she's the first human-shaped homunculus I've ever seen. Demurely shaped with a soothing and gentle magical aura around her. The sheer amount of craft and power needed to create her must have been immense. I didn't know that Eskia had an alchemist adept enough to create a homunculi. The young woman smiles, but does not reply. I decide to try another approach. So, what's your name? I am Sella, my lord. The regent assigned me to be your personal servant. My lips quirk up into a smile. Back at home on our fief, my parents had hired many servants and guards, but they never allowed us, their children, to have someone appointed to be our personal attendant. They had hoped that by doing so we would be capable of taking care of ourselves without any added assistance. And that may be, as I'm essentially alone in a distant country for the first time. And the prospect of having someone familiar with this environment is more welcome than I'm disposed to admit. Did the Regent assign me any other servants I should know about? Yes, there is. Just then comes a knock on the door. A debonair man pushes it open and swaggers into the room. Master Rosenkreuz, my deepest apologies. I was held up by a measly bit of business with the treasury. And you are? Raphael, at your service, Master Rosenkreuz. Sala and I will personally oversee that you are well taken care of. I can bathe and dress on my own. Sometimes I can even wake up on my own. I let out a grin with my last jab. Raphael's gestures soften in response, and a smile tugs at the corner of his lips. That's not something that can be taken for granted in the aristocracy of the capital, indeed. However, our services extend to more than just domestic assistance. You're not just my servants, you're my bodyguards as well. I'm starting to think that maybe the kingdom is filled with tan-skinned people. Yeah. Either everybody's just constantly getting their sunlight, or who knows. We can both protect you in times of danger. There'll also be 4 guards to watch your chambers at all hours. Sure would have been nice to have had them a day ago. But apart from that, Sala here is a beautician in her own right. Impressive. Sala smiles. If you ever feel the need to pretty yourself up a little, you can always spend an afternoon with me. Oh, so that's how we increase our beauty. I'll keep that in mind, Sala the beautician. I am a courtier who has been in service of the king for a long, long time. I know all there is to know about the etiquettes and protocols of the Eskian court. Okay, so she improves our beauty, and he improves our etiquette. Okay. Lucky for me, considering I don't know anything about that at all. I shall be delighted to teach them to you. When you want a lesson on our court customs and traditions, please come find me. Raphael the courtier. I'll remember. And then there's Garion. Garion? Is he another servant? Good heavens, no. Please don't let him hear you say that. Marshal Garion commands the palace guards and was a close confidant of the late king. He's the one in charge of training new recruits and can usually be found bustling about the parade grounds. Be that as it may, he also offers to train members of the royal household, and this now includes you. Oh, so that's how we increase our combat. I give a casual flick of my wrist. I am more used to fighting with magic, or should I say alchemy items. Of course, and the training grounds can offer you opportunities to train with it in magical combat. But if you ever find the need for enhancing your physical prowess, he's the one you want to see. Seems like I'm gonna have a very busy week ahead. To top it all off, please don't forget about your daily lessons with the princes. How could I forget? Have you already got a rough idea for this week's schedule? If you tell us, we can help you plan out your activities accordingly. Sure, let's see. For this week, I think. Ooh, let's go. If you're unsure about the stat-raising aspect of this game, check them out. Okay. Alright. So let's do... Oh, yeah. Okay. So I think we gotta... Let's improve our beauty. There we go. And then... Oh, so can we just do all of them? Or is it just all of this? I don't know. Let's see. Okay, Grimoire. Saren is wood and light. Okay, so we're going to really hammer in on those. So, wood. And then light. And then Nazir is fire and wind. Okay. So fire, wind, and then Aurelius is water and darkness. Okay, so water, darkness, etiquette, intelligence, and then they can learn theory on the other ones. So we're gonna teach darkness to you, and then actually no, hold on. Yeah, because they cover the full spectrum, so it's fine for them to overlap. And then, whoops, no. We'll teach you wood. And then we will teach you fire. There we go. This is already the full game you got, right? Yeah, this is the full game. Okay, yeah, so then we'll improve my beauty, my etiquette, and my intelligence for now. Then we'll improve his wood and light, which he can actually learn properly, and then he can learn theory for darkness. Then Zero will learn fire and wind, and then he'll learn the theory for wood, and then Aurelius will learn water and darkness, and then he'll learn the theory for fire. All right. Let's go, baby. Whoa. Hold on. BRB. Oh my god, I'm so silly, dude. I'm so silly. Okay, in my defense, the sound effect for the knock happened to be only in the ear that is facing my actual real door. So I thought it was a knock from my roommates on my door, and I was really confused. And so I got up and I went to check. I was like, did you guys knock on my door? And they're like, huh? No. I was like, oh, okay. But then I realized now it says knock knock on the screen. It was the fucking... It was the game. It's a game sound effect. But why was it only in my ear and my headphones for the door, like on the side that my actual door is though? That's too realistic, bro. That's too immersive. That shit's too immersive. Okay, but now we know. Also, hi Sammy, welcome in. And hi Darren and Nugget. I was so confused. I was like, huh? Because normally my roommates wouldn't knock on my door unless it was like really important. So I was like, hold on, let me see what just happened. What it's worth, we both took the bait on that one. Yeah, okay. So now you understand. It wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah. Anyway, we'll continue. Come in. I glance over my studies as the door swings open. Please pardon my intrusion. Prince Eren makes a half bow in my direction with his trademark courteous smile. Your Highness, pray sit down. Thank you. Prince Eren closes the door after him, and I catch a glimpse of several guards, not mine, but likely his personal troop. Since arriving, I've yet to see the prince without any companions. Yeah, I just got back from a double work shift in a shower, and I hear that knock, I'm like, who the fuck? Yeah, I was also very confused. I suppose it's understandable since the culprits behind his father's assassination were never found. Pulling at the chair across from me, he takes a seat. This prompts me to look around, suddenly realizing that I don't have anything to offer him. Prince Eren must have been following my eyes because he takes the initiative to stop me when I'm about to call on Sala or someone with the means to fetch her for me. Please, no need to trouble yourself. I look at him as he proceeds to settle down again. He smiles at me warmly, showing no indication that it was a mere courtesy. I find myself unable to keep from smiling back. We got masturbated, yeah. Good night, Barb. Sweet dreams. I hope you sleep well. I find myself unable to keep from smiling back at him. So, to what do I owe the pleasure, Your Highness? The Lord Regent would like me to ask you for more details about the mercenaries who ambushed you on your way to the capital. He was most disturbed by this most unnerving and unforeseeable breach of security, so near to the heart of the kingdom, and to a person as important to us as you, of course. I'm touched by his concern for my welfare. Wow, so thoughtful. You're gonna have nightmares now? No, don't worry about it. You're not gonna have nightmares. I believe in you. Will this be a convenient time for you, Master Rosenkreuz? I do so happen to have some free time just now, so please, ask away. Oh my god, we have the same color scheme. The black, the gold, and then like the tealish color. Except his hair and eye color are different. And then he's also got the earrings. Oh my god, did they rip off my design? I'm kidding, I'm kidding. We look the same, bro. We could be twinsies. This means we can't date him. It'd be too much like dating our cousin. Thank you. To the best of your knowledge, who knew about the details of your journey to Fostrax? No one outside the palace. Yes, we are investigating the possibility of an internal leak. There is the secret for— oh, you're right. In that case, the Lord President of the High Council and the Senior Alchemist. You told no one of your appointment? Not a soul. Do you think they could have— I don't even have to think before shaking my head. Impossible. They won't tell anyone about what they had for breakfast, much less the affairs of their delegates. The members of the council have always been overly secretive. That was one of the reasons why I had to bear with that rude palace guard in the first place. I see. In that case, what was the earliest forewarning you received of the ambush? My lips pursed as I closed my eyes, trying to recall more details of that night. On the road to Fostrax, I heard a loud explosion that came from somewhere within the forest. Then, the temperature around the carriage began growing warm. What do you think caused the explosion? Perhaps it was a way to remotely detonate the fuck that word, dude. Phlogiston mines beneath the road. Or maybe one of the catches was misplaced and exploded earlier than planned. However, due to the discoveries I found later in the forest, I know the mercenaries had not finished their work when my carriage came to the ambush site. They did not expect me to show up so early, since I was supposed to spend the night in the village inn. They even knew about that? I nod. It was a coincidence, and maybe just the right amount of luck. It was the only reason I managed to escape alive. At least that explosion gave you enough time to get away. Thanks to the captain of my escort. He recognized the situation for what it was immediately and warned me in the nick of time. If not for his prompt actions, I would have... I close my eyes and swallow, even though my throat is perfectly dry. The hellish vision of that inferno. Why do they keep flashbanging me in this game? The broiling, horrifying waves of heat. Worst of all, these piteous, charred people lying twisted and broken about the devastated remains of the carriage. Afterwards, I took off into the forest when the mercenaries came to examine their handiwork, hoping to escape from the vicinity. You were one, and they were many. No one can blame you for your wise actions. Perhaps. Fortunately, I found a crate of unused phlogiston in the forest. I equipped myself with them before making my way back to the mercenaries, fully armed. The mercenaries thought I was dead. They were completely taken by surprise when I came back with the phlogiston, ready to throw into their midst. I reopened my eyes. My hands, I noticed, are balled into fists, and I forced myself to unclench them. You were not able to take any of them alive? That's what scared me the most, Your Highness. After I defeated the mercenaries, when I tried to question them, they brutally killed themselves right in front of me. I'll never forget those empty, doll-like eyes. For this reason, I suspect the person who employed them is somehow able to control their minds to an extent. That's disturbing, to say the least. I'm awfully sorry you had to go through that. Prince Seren's face turns a touch paler, filled with genuine concern and sorrow, after I finish recounting my experience with the ambush. He sounds as though he's trying to comfort me, yet he looks as though he needs some comforting himself. Thank you for telling me the tale of your harrowing encounter. You have my word that the utmost precautions will then be taken to ensure that this does not happen again in the future. Reassure the prince that I can protect myself or play down the violence. Well, I'll reassure him. I am a fully fledged alchemist, Your Highness, as well as a member of the High Council. You need not burden yourself with the security of my person. You will find that I am more than capable of defending myself. I have every confidence you can in a fair fight. But our enemies, whoever they may be, do not appear to have any intention of fighting fair. Even an archmage or a master swordsman is vulnerable to a poisonous adder hidden underneath their bedsheets. Or perchance a crate of phlogiston mined into the road their carriage is set to embark on. My lips purse. The prince's father, I faintly recall, died in an ambush at the hands of mysterious assassins. As a king, I'm sure he must have been strong, an adept magic user, a master of the sword, and a person with overwhelming charisma. I give you my solemn oath. As long as you're close to me, I shall see that you're kept out of harm's way. I observe Prince Surin very closely while he speaks. His troubled look, though diminished, does not appear to disappear entirely, and his eyes have a distant, faraway look that suggests he's thinking of something else, even as he's discussing the ambush with me. Did the recounting of my assault bring back any unpleasant memories? Hi, Beanie. Welcome in. Before I can formulate my hypothesis into a suitably polite inquiry, Prince Surin abruptly steps back as if he somehow senses my intentions to pry whether I likely should. I believe you have given me sufficient information so that I may make a report to the Lord Regent. Thank you for your time, Master Rosenkreuz. It was a pleasure, Your Highness. Good day. Prince Surin nods his head and goes to leave. He pauses when he reaches the door and turns back to face me. Your Highness? I would like to tell you that I'm very thankful you got away from the ambush unscathed. There's a soft undertone in his voice that makes me think he said those words out of more than mere etiquette. Thank you, Your Highness. Prince Surin nods again and silently closes the door behind him. Oh, let's go. Alright, let's save. There we go. And now let's schedule our classes. We're gonna swap that. And then let's do darkness, and then we'll do wood. There we go. I think that'll be good for now. We kind of just want to balance everything out for the most part. There we go, baby. New missions are now available. I'm walking along the hallway on my way to my study to prepare for this afternoon's lessons when I hear someone call out softly behind me. Master Rosenkreuz. I turn to find a tall, mysterious-looking man bowing in my direction. Good day, sir. I believe you have the advantage over me. My name is Harris, a personal servant to Prince Aurelius. A pleasure. He straightens his posture while looking at me. His eyes narrow ever so slightly as he smiles. I have the honor of carrying you a message from His Highness. Prince Aurelius wants to talk to me? That's unusual. Let's hear it. Prince Aurelius sends you his warmest regards and told me to ask if you would like to have tea with him at the pavilion in the palace garden. Really? Are you pranking me? An invitation to afternoon tea from Prince Aurelius? I cannot say I foresaw this coming in this or any other lifetime, nonetheless. The warm regard seems almost ominous. Just as he told me. That's unexpectedly sociable of His Highness. Harris smiles but makes no reply. Please let the prince know I should be glad to take up his invitation. His Highness will be delighted. Kindly come with me. I shall show you the way to a pavilion where His Highness is waiting for you. Why do I feel like this is a trap? This screams trap to me. You mean now? Indeed. Placing a gentle but firm hand on my shoulder, Harris steers me down the hallway in the direction of the garden. I thought you said in the afternoon. It is already past midday, Master Rosenkreuz. Technically, this is afternoon. But isn't it a little early for afternoon tea? I think you will find that His Highness is not one to fuss about this sort of thing. Harris pushes open a door, and I squint as I'm overwhelmed by the sudden glare of the midday sun. Nor for this meeting will you be. Sunlight dances on the soft green meadow and sparkling fountains of the sprawling palace garden. A cool breeze meanders through the air, making the leafy branches of the trees rustle and stir. Oh, he's actually there. Okay. I thought this was going to be like a assassination ambush attempt or something. At the center of the garden, sitting in the shade of the white pavilion, I see the figure of Prince Aurelius observing us, hands neatly folded on his crossed legs. With not a kettle, tray, or cup in sight. You said the prince is inviting me for tea, right? No, I said His Highness told me to tell you he's inviting you for tea. A subtle but crucial distinction. I quite agree. My mouth suddenly dry, I find myself walking slowly towards the pavilion. There is no option but to press ahead, what with Harris blocking the exit behind me, and Prince Aurelius fixing that cold, sharp gaze of his onto me. You're here at last. Good afternoon, Your Highness. Well, Harris, get the blades, will you? At once, Your Highness. Blades? Blades. Blades. Harris places 2 gleaming swords on the table for the Prince Aurelius, who buckles one into his belt without taking his eyes away from mine. Oh no, I don't have any combat training! Oh no! What do you intend to do with that sword, Your Highness? Fight. That's what people usually do with swords. Fight? Who are you fighting? You. Me? Me? His Highness is challenging you to a duel, Master Rosenkreuz. I look from one man to the other, more than half expecting them to burst out laughing in my face at any moment, but the faces of the duo are deadly earnest. I really am being challenged to a duel, with Prince Aurelius, using swords of pure steel. What should I do? Can I decline? Can I simply say no thank you? I don't think I can. He's royalty. I don't think I'm allowed to decline. Let me save. There we go. I think I have to accept and then get my ass kicked, I suppose. I lay my hand on the hilt of the remaining sword. As I do so, I can feel Prince Aurelius' eyes on mine, watching me with approval. Physical combat has never been my forte, but if that's the prince's fancy, then I'm determined to give him my best and hope that it will be good enough. Are you sure about this, Your Highness? A pleading note creeps into my voice as I make a last frantic attempt to dissuade him. Yes. Enough talking. On guard. Oh shit. That's all the warning I received before Prince Aurelius lunges at my person in a whirlwind of shining steel. Taken by surprise, I barely managed to bring my sword up in time to parry the volley of incoming blows. I know, right? Step by step, the prince forces me backward out the pavilion and onto the meadow beyond. Shing! It quickly becomes clear that I do not stand a chance. Oh no, intelligence fail! My grasp falters and the sword feels cumbersome to the touch. Combat fail! Of course it does, I'm not trained to use it. Despite my frantic attempts to fend off the assault, my arms are proving incapable of holding the blade upright. As for my legs, they throb as though the slightest breeze will cause them to buckle. We're too hot. Well, it's because we were also learning etiquette and beauty at the same time. So I was spreading my stats more evenly, which doesn't work if I need a high clearance rate, but it's good for other stuff. Swish! What a disappointment. Prince Aurelius is toying with me, fainting here and there, making me wave my sword wildly over the place while he barely moves a muscle. Any moment now, he will tire of this game, and clash! Ugh. A sudden blow by the prince wrenches the sword out of my grip, causing it to skid over the grass. Then, there's a blur of movement. I stagger as something slams into me with brute force. Next thing I know, I'm lying flat on my back in the grass, looking up at the blue sky and the white fluffy clouds, breathing heavily. And Prince Aurelius is holding his sword down against my neck, its half-sharpened tip pressing into my skin ever so precisely. I'm into it. From my position, I can see the prince's firm grip on his sword and a coldness that seems to have been ingrained in his eyes, unbefitting for a beauty such as him. A few loose strands of hair gracefully trace the shape of his face, and the scent of western flowers envelops me once again. He hasn't even broken a sweat in defeating me. A touch to Prince Aurelius. The best option probably would have been throwing the sword at his head and retreating. The action might not have been the most glorious thing to do, but it wasn't as if the prince was treating me with extraordinary politeness either. Trying to catch my breath, I close my eyes and calm my mind, feeling a bit annoyed and confused at the same time. Why are you doing this? Prince Aurelius pauses for a moment, thinking. For some reason, I don't expect him to give me a serious reply. I simply wish to make my own assessment of you. Harris helps me to my feet, brushing away the dirt and grass on my clothes. You may be a tutor, but you are only so by the grace of the Lord Regent. I have yet to determine for myself what your true worth is. But from this, I can see why you are clearly incapable of saving the lives of the men under your direction and would rather not be in that predicament myself. I go to retort, but get interrupted before I can even manage to open my mouth. Harris shows Rosenkoitz back to his room. Damn, so he just wanted to bully me? Aurelius looks away, having lost all interest in me at the drop of a hat. This way, please. Worn out with no energy for further objections, I allow him to lead me back to the palace. We make our way to the study side by side in silence. Here we are, Master Rosenkreuz. If there's nothing else, I shall return to His Highness. A minute. What is it? Did you know? I beg your pardon? Did you know what Prince Aurelius had in mind when he brought me to the garden? Harris looks away, stroking his chin while wearing a contemplative expression. His Highness is right. If you want to survive and prosper in a place as interesting as the Fox Tracks Palace, you really should try to improve your swordplay. If you're interested in learning the little tricks of the art that Marshal Garion believes himself too honorable to impart, you can find me wandering the palace garden. You're offering to teach me? Evidently. My lips pursed on instinct. I get the feeling this man has been with Prince Aurelius for a long time. Even his speech resembles the prince's. Your reasons? Harris pauses to observe me before his eyes narrow and his lips tug into a mysterious smile. Self-interest, mainly. It'd be fun to see whether you can meet Prince Aurelius's expectations. With that, he walks away, leaving me staring into space and stunned. That answer was about as helpful as having not answered at all. I can't seem to understand the youngest prince, nor his servants. Wow, we can take classes to learn leadership skills. Wow. We got upper combat, though. Oh my god, that knocking noise. Now that I know it's the game. I look up from my notes where I'd been scribbling new formulae. Come in. The door to my study opens and a familiar figure emerges. Despite standing straight and still looking immaculate, I can't help but notice his slightly furrowed brows. Master Rosenkreuz, my apologies for disturbing you. Not at all. Is something the matter? While His Excellency the Lord Regent is aware you're still adjusting to life at court, he would like to request your aid in addressing certain complaints. Complaints? Raphael pauses a bit, clearly conflicted. In the days of the late king, Master Rosenkreuz, he used to travel the lands to help the citizens with their needs. Natural disasters, beasts and bandits, plagues, all manner of things, really. Of course, the princes have been doing their best to keep up with their duties. However, during the past 12 moon cycles, I'm afraid more and more complaints have piled up. The Lord Regent requests you aid our princes in said duties, Master Rosenkreuz. We're aware it might be a lot to... That's fine. While Raphael must be relieved at my approval, he also seems somewhat surprised. It is. I'm an alchemist of the High Council. While I was summoned here to tutor the princes, it's our foremost duty to help each country advance and prosper. I would be happy if my alchemy can be of even the slightest help. The Master of Coins smiles, and I find myself smiling back. Thank you, Master Rosenkreuz. That improved our beauty. I guess we did look pretty beautiful. Whenever you need funding for your work, please don't hesitate to find me. I will also be taking inventory and keeping track of each state's income. I hope the information will be of use to you. Missions are now available. Fulfilling them will increase different factions' approval and increase your weekly income. For more information, check our tutorials by pressing T. Okay. Let's see here. So, Saren light magic? Let me see. Is he at 10 yet for light? Saren light. He is at 10 for light, so we could do that. Strange rumors have reached the palace. Farmers residing in the outskirts of the capital were shutting themselves inside their house during the day and not doing any work. They only ventured out past midnight, and reports of their activities suggested they were suffering from advanced stages of hallucinatory delusion. When challenged, these farmers claim that they are looking for their most beautiful goddess. Having no desire to countenance the outbreak of a cult, the regent dispatched Prince Saren and I with a company of palace guards to investigate the problem. Upon reaching one of the infected villages, we found it eerily silent. The streets were empty, the doors and windows of the houses locked, barred, and mothering in dust. Warily, we went up to one of the locked houses and knocked on the door. But the guard captain had threatened to smash the door down before anyone inside would open it. The young farmer who opened the door seemed suspicious at first. After looking at me, his beauty success. He knelt down and began worshipping me. He claimed that I was an emissary of the goddess and that my outward beauty proclaimed the inward goodness of my heart. See, my beauty wasn't for nothing. Although it was flattering in some way, I was seriously embarrassed. After examining several villagers, I discovered they had consumed crops infected from a tiny but virulent mushroom that causes romantic hallucinations. I was fortunately able to find the ingredients needed to make the antidote potions in the vicinity. Commoner approval increased. If the farmer remembers to boil the antidote in the middle of their crop fields at least 3 hours every day next week, the mushroom infection should soon be eliminated. Noble approval, too. Prince Red was so happy with our work today, he gallantly led me by the hand to sit next to him at the high table during supper this evening. It caused quite a stir in the courts. Let's go, baby. The high art of alchemy is subtle and perilous, the use of which requires utmost attentiveness and care. I look down to see what effect my words are having on my students. Saren is keeping his eyes fixed on me, calm and inscrutable as ever. He might be seriously reflecting on the meaning of what I say, or equally likely trying to make up his mind on what to have for dinner. He's probably seriously reflecting. He is Saren, after all. Unlike... Nazir beams at me and offers a thumbs up. Hi, Vertexiality. Here, here. He bends back over his desk, appearing to be busy taking notes, perhaps not realizing that I can clearly see he's sketching a portrait of me. Or at least observing me keenly, but I have a feeling what he's measuring me up is rather than what I'm saying. Which bee are we Elling? I'm aiming for him, but so far it feels like we're getting closer to him. But he looks too much like me, so I feel weird pursuing him because he looks too much like me, you know? We look too similar. We're aiming for him though, but we'll see how it goes. We kind of got a rough start with him. Magic, as you know, comprises of 6 elementals, or 3 pairs of complementary counterparts. Fire and water, wood and wind, and light and dark. Nazir interrupts me by yawning loudly, then immediately covers his mouth, looking abashed. Normally, a magic user can use 1 or 2, rarely 3 different elements of magic. Members of the Rosencreutz family can use all 6, I believe. That's right, it's our rather unusual attribute. To an alchemist, the 2 most important elements of magic are fire and water. That's because fire represents the power of manifestation. It is the only magic capable of forcing the essence of an object to assume a shape. Water represents the power of alternation. Using it on an object can cause its essence to change. Water without fire is pure chaos, the state of unending flux. Fire without water is pure order, the original essence of rigidity emphasized and magnified. Only fire and water used together allows an object to change from one stable state to another. This is the aim and purpose of alchemy. Fascinating. Absolutely. However, neither my brothers nor I can use both fire and water magic. Nor can most alchemists. There is, of course, a way to get around limitations. Do you know what this is? I held up a vial filled with swirling blue light. Aha! You see? Yes. Then be a good chap and enlighten us with your wisdom, will you? Breaking his neutral expression, I see Aurelius's brows twitching in slight annoyance. It's a magic preservation vial. You don't say! Splendid! It clears everything up perfectly. I press my lips together as I hear the sarcasm in Nazir's chipper voice. It stores a certain type of elemental magic. This one, for example, is a water vial, suitable for Nazir here. Nazir receives the vial hesitantly, as if expecting it to explode. Just screw it open when we want to use it, I suppose? Yes, it's that convenient. The invention of the preservation vials by Harold the Wise is considered one of the most important breakthroughs in the history of alchemy. I thought each vial contains only a small amount of the element. It depends on the size and quality of the vial, but in general, yes, you are right. However, even a small amount of element is enough to satisfy the requirements in most alchemical formulae. Wonder why I haven't seen one of these nifty things till now. Sounds awfully useful. The High Council has a monopoly on selling preservation vials, which they dole out very sparingly. Furthermore, the manufacture of preservation vials is a difficult and time-consuming process, with only fire magic users being able to make the vials. Why is that? Fire is the power of manifestation, remember? So, fire vials ought to be the most common. And also the cheapest. I assume vials of other elements can only be created by fire magic users also affined with other elements? Your assumption is correct. That means Nazir here may eventually have the ability, if he pays attention to my lessons, to create wind preservation vials. However, it also means that vials of other elemental types are much rarer and more expensive than fire. Master Rosenkreuz, you are affined to all 6 elements, are you not? And so are the 3 of you, are very lucky. I can make vials of whichever element you require. All you need to do is request them from me in advance. For the moment, can the 3 of you please step forward to collect a vial of each element you cannot use? Then let us continue with today's lesson. Let's go. Gotta get my hunches. Yeah, take care. Let's see, do we have any others? I think we're good now. No new missions right now. Let's see. Alright, we got enough beauty. We gotta go combat now. What's our etiquette's pretty good. I think we'll take off the etiquette. We'll go leadership. There we go. Yeah, and then Saren's still doing good with wood and light. We'll leave those, but you need water now. And then you also need water. And then, oh no, you need light. We'll give you light. There we go. I'm trying to get them all sort of, so they've got at least all of the other ones slightly learned. And then you need wind. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I got my ass kicked in the combat training, so I gotta improve that. New missions are available. A joy to see you, my dear Dere. A smile tugs at the edge of my mouth as I turn with an elaborately formal bow. Good morning, Your Highness. Let me do the honors of skipping straight to my point of inquiry. Have you any plans for the afternoon? As the royal tutor, I was under the impression I am obliged to conduct some royal tutoring. Amo amasamat, all that stuff, huh? Very fascinating stuff. I'm glad you think so. Rather had the idea that you thought the opposite, judging by the considerable difficulty I have in keeping you awake during our lessons. Nazir, at the very least, has the grace to look sheepish, but not for long. I say, don't you believe you deserve to have the teensy break from all that tutoring and whatnot? What do you mean? I, for one, am planning to go for a stroll around the kingdom this very afternoon, and the next one as well, and perhaps the one after that. And to the point, I wonder if there's any way I can persuade you into tagging along? If I'm not mistaken, you are due for a lesson with me here in the castle this afternoon, and the next one as well, and perhaps the next one after that. Oh, lessons, castles, afternoons. I'm just about stuck to the top of the tallest tower with them. Why live in a cage? There's a beautiful world outside these walls of stone. The palace can hardly be called a cage, Your Highness. More like the lap of luxury, perhaps. Even a gilded cage is still a cage, my dear, and I am absolutely determined to break out of mine this afternoon. Can I not convince you to do the same? You haven't seen much of Eskia aside from the palace, have you? I pause and think. It's true that I haven't really had a chance to see much of the country, being busy with adjusting the court life and tutoring sessions. And despite my better judgment, my curiosity keeps nagging at me to go out and see more. Nazir's grin turns mischievous, knowing very well that I've taken the bait. Let me show you around. The meadows around Speller are covered in blossoms both snow-white and cornflower blue beneath the azure summer sky. And the Speller village itself may be small and quaint, but it's no less ancient, no less hallowed in memory of Eskia than this very palace, and its tavern where the mead is sweet and delicious and its maidens so pretty and friendly, above all discreet. Nazir's eyes gleam in delight as I see right through his fanciful words to his intentions. So, are you not tempted? Take this chance to slip out of your cage, too. Just for this afternoon, of course. What harm could it possibly do? Fine, we'll have a little fun. You gotta give them both the carrot and the stick. We've just been giving them the stick, so we gotta give them the carrot, too. Against my better judgment, I am inclined to take you up on your offer. Splendid. You will not regret it. Not soon, anyways. I'm already beginning to have doubts about my hasty decision. Before I can gather my thoughts, Nazir has seized my hand and has taken me along the hallway towards his room. Just give me a minute or two to pack my things and we'll be on our merry way. I know a little passage not far from here that leads to a small, unused postern gate that I can most definitely use to slip away from the palace, though. No one needs to know how we've left, or when, or why. No one, you say? There's Raphael. Turning a corner, Nazir skids to a halt before Raphael, who is suddenly looming in front of us, arms folded and frowning. Raphael, my dear chap, fancy seeing you here. You sound as if my being here is to your detriment, Your Highness. No, not at all. Your appearance simply took me by surprise. And my friend here too, huh? My mind races as I attempt to hide behind Nazir out of sheer embarrassment. Just what was I thinking, getting caught slacking off as the royal tutor? Dare I ask what you two were planning on doing with that little passageway through the small, unused postern gate not far from your room? We were discussing the state of security at the palace. Nazir was just telling me how assassins could make use of these overlooked passages to slip past our defense and wreak havoc inside, right, Your Highness? Quite right, my dear. Just the thing we were discussing. An admirable motive, Raphael says in a tone of grudging respect, and my lips purse. In that case, I shall note your concern and assign guards to patrol the postern gate as soon as my personnel become available. I promise you no one will be able to slip in or out of the gate without half the palace knowing. I'll be damned. I mean, if anyone even tries, I thoroughly approve. Prince Nazir gives Raphael a look of approval and a confident thump to his chest. If I have set your minds to rest, might you two be so good as to return to your duties? Such as being tutored, and in your case, he glances at me and raises an eyebrow ever so slightly. Tutoring? Certainly, I reply, much abashed. No, wait! Oh dear. I just remembered that I left an item of considerably valuable by the postern. Would your highness be so good as to allow his servant to retrieve it? Which boy are we trying to love? We're going for Aurelius. Here, I'll show you what he looks like. We're going for him. But we might end up going for him, just depending on how things go. But so far, this is who we're aiming for. Though, you know. Yeah. Oh wait, I missed that line. I'm afraid I cannot. The item is deeply sentimental to me, you see, and I would loathe if anyone else were to look upon it. I take it you I'll be right back. Quick as a breeze, he slips past Raphael, disappearing rapidly into the stairs in the direction of his room. Good day, Your Highness. Raphael sighs and turns to me. You shouldn't be influenced so easily when finding yourself in a new place. Sorry, it's just, well, Nazir. Yes, he has that effect on some people. With a face of great understanding from years of experience, he smiles and pats my shoulder consolingly. Back to Amo Ama Samat and all that, huh? Yes, all very fascinating stuff. Feeling more chastised than I would like, I hurry back to my study to prepare for this afternoon's lessons. My face burns a bright and fiery crimson thinking back on what had just transpired. We can now take classes to raise charisma. Oh, let's fucking go. We need that shit. We're maxing out our charisma, baby. Grimoire characters updated. Let's see. Do we have any new missions? Oh, we do. Saren, 15 for... Was that wood? Nazir, 15 wind. And Aurelius, 15 water. I think we have enough for that. Well, let me check. Yeah, he's got 16. 15. And what? Oh, he doesn't have enough water yet. Okay. He's just barely not enough. Alright, so we'll wait on that then. Alright, and then we'll take off the intelligence and we'll go for charisma for now. We've been doing a lot of intelligence stuff. We've boosted our intelligence a decent bit, so let's see what else. Maybe I should do 2 combat training? I'm trying to think. Or maybe... Okay, we'll do a beauty instead of leadership for this one. Okay. I think that's what we'll do. And then... Oh, you need to learn... You need to learn wind. There we go. You need to learn water. And you need to learn light. There we go. There we go. This morning, I'm walking along the hallway on my way to class. Ugh, this is the worst way to start the day. A servant is cursing out loudly as he's moving several buckets of water up the stairs to the kitchen, I assume. Do these nobles really taste the difference in water, or why do we have to do this? He must be transporting fresh spring water. I've heard of some aristocrats who only accept the finest of water to be used for their meals. I didn't know those existed in Askia, too. Maybe we can cleanse and enhance fountain water to have the same taste as spring water? That would surely make the life of the servants easier. We're gonna make a Brita filter, bro. We're about to craft a Brita filter. It'd be good for the princess to learn alchemy through practical use as well. Derek can create alchemy items together with the princes. Having the right item at the right time may help you increase the approval of different factions or get yourself out of a pinch. New missions are available. A shame about that fop Nazir. Fop? Is he referring to Prince Nazir? And he's calling Prince Nazir by his given name? Although Nazir does let everyone call him by his given name. Absolutely useless, a waste of breath. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Then why are we wasting our breath on him? Saren, on the other hand. I find myself pressing behind an oversized marble vase, listening in on clearly private conversation between a group of aristocrats huddling inside the room opposite me. Well, they're loud enough for me to understand every single word without straining my ears. Who, Saren? He's sound, at least. He's polite, that's all you can say for him. Not a single original spark inside that hollow carton masquerading as a head. Is that a bad thing? Makes him easier to control. You're onto something there. What about that fellow Aurelius? That bastard, you mean? Oh, come on. Aurelius can be a little disagreeable, but it hardly warrants such insult. They're insulting all of the princes in the palace. Are they fucking stupid?
Why would you insult royalty in the palace where anybody could hear you? Isn't that like treason? Couldn't they execute you for that, for your remarks? At least say that shit in the privacy of your own home, man. He has many original sparks as you can want and more. A rather strong personality, very brainy. Let's all be absolutely honest here. He would make a strong king. Yes, and if we are all absolutely honest here, a strong monarch is the last thing any of us wants. Aurelius. If we had Aurelius on the throne, we might as well hand over our estates to him and be done with it. True, maybe the regency isn't such a bad thing. Shame it can't last forever. Well, call me an old-fangled traditionalist, but I prefer someone who can actually relate to the king administering from the throne. You old-fangled traditionalist, you! The group breaks into raucous laughter that's grating to the ears. No, really, if you think about it, the Lord Regent's blood is as common as they come. From the same sewer as the late queens sprang from. Oh my god, they're just straight up insulting the royal family. From the same sewer. Disregarding their contempt for the prince's deceased mother, does that mean the Lord Regent was a relation of the queens rather than the king? So hi, Evan, welcome in. Did the king not have any brothers or cousins, even? Just what sort of inheritance laws govern the succession of Exia? A decent person, though, the queen. Yes, but common as mud. You can have everything, my friends. Better a regent than a king. Better a king than anarchy. Is that what you call our days of liberty? Anarchy? Sometimes I wonder if it might not be better for us and our late lamented king had, well, not been born. Wish I had 44 pillows IRL. Yeah, the ultimate pillow fort. He unified the realm, stripped our rights, changed our ancient laws and customs, and then just went and died on us. Frightfully irresponsible of him. Sometimes I wonder if it might not be better for us if we abolish the monarchy altogether. Y'all are actually talking treason right now. This is insane that you guys are just straight up discussing treason in the middle of the palace, in the middle of the day. Like, are we stupid? Just over 20 years ago, we were free men, sovereign lords of our estates. Now we are subjects to the crown. Subjects to the crown, huh? Who's there? Whoops. It seems I accidentally voiced my thoughts aloud. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I was just passing by and couldn't help but overhear. Oh, it's Master Rosencreutz. You grace our unworthy selves with your otherworldly presence. Please do not allow us to sully your august self a moment longer. We humbly crave your pardon to take our leave. Sticking their noses straight in the air, the three aristocrats march away, sneering down at me from the corner of their eyes. Oops, we said all the things out loud, I know. What was that about? The Lord Regent's the Queen's brother, not the King's, and in the words of the second aristocrat, common as mud. The kingdom was unified less than a generation ago, and its current laws are barely older than I am. And the nobility is restive enough to be discussing revolt in the open air. It seems I don't know nearly as much about Eskia as I would like to. And I have the nagging feeling I'd best start learning sooner rather than later. The question is, from whom? Among the people I've spoken with at any length I can think of, only two who were around at the time before the monarchy was established. Sala, the mysterious homunculus, and, of course, the Lord Regent himself. Let's find Sala. Lord Regent's probably occupied with ruling the realm. I decide to search for Sala and pose my questions to her instead. I find Sala standing in front of a window in the hallway, looking at the sunlight-dappled greenery of the garden outside. Hello, Sala. The Lord Regent always keeps himself so busy. I wish he would rest more often. Glancing out the window, I see the Regent surrounded by a band of courtiers. I can't help but compare him to an old lion that was brought to bay by a pack of jackals. Seems like my decision to not bother the overworked Regent was the right one. Is there something you would like my help with, Master Rosencreutz? I'd like to ask you a few questions about the founding of the kingdom, if I may. I have the idea that Sela is surprised by my request, even though her face remains as expressionless and impassive as ever. I'm happy to answer as much as I can. I heard, well, Overheard, actually, from some nobleman that the kingdom was founded only 20 years ago? That's right. Before the king, Eskia was no more of a geographical concept than a political entity. So the aristocracy used to be the heads of the independent sovereign states? They were. The great lords waged endless feuding with each other, devastating the land and its people. The small ones were little more than robber barons, plundering each other's villages and caravans. You know so much about those times, it almost sounds like you've lived through them. I haven't, and I'm thankful for it. I was created after the queen died, when the king had already unified the realm and brought the aristocracy to submission. He introduced a new legal system that outlawed private feuds and baronial raids. Then he promoted a civil service and regulated the rights and duties of the kingdom's various estates. The king must have been a genius. How did he unite the realm? Aristocrats respect only force of arms, Master Rosencreuss. Was he one of them? An aristocrat? I don't know. He came alone into Eskia and acquired a band of followers. Peasants and burghers flocked to join his banner because he promised them more rights and an end to the raids between their feudal masters. You can't defeat knights with peasants and burghers. I can't, Master Rosencreuss, but he did. Strange. He first either conquered the lesser nobility or intimidated them into joining him, conscripting their forces into his own. Then he took on the great dukes, taking advantage of their deep-seated hatred of each other to defeat them one by one. By the time they recognized the threat he posed and banded together against him, it was too late. Their united army was unable to coordinate, and the king decisively defeated them in Battle of Wepsprim 20 years ago. Finally, he forced them to swear fealty to him on that field of battle, which marked the founding of the kingdom. Impossible. I beg your pardon? The proposition is historically ludicrous. A hero without an established power base, appearing out of nowhere, unheard of and unasked, gaining the support of the common people, defeating the local lords, and making himself king? That sort of thing only happens in fantasies, never in real life. But it did. Apparently. Even for a genius, the king's rise to power is a little too meteoric to be credible. There is more behind his success than Sala is either able or willing to tell me. Well, let's leave it at that. What happened after the kingdom was founded? Not every great lord has submitted, and many of the robber barons remained as rapacious as ever. The king has his hands full reducing the rebels' base, hunting down the unruly nobles until they had all either knelt or been hung. Can that happen in our world? Please? He established the Eskian Guards for that purpose and led them on the most dangerous campaigns and expeditions. His wife died around that time, didn't she? Yes, he did not have much time to grieve, even though I know that he mourned her passing deeply. How do you know? I thought you said you were created after the queen had passed away. The king is a caring and kind person. He would have been deeply saddened by the loss of one he loved. Oh my god, what if she looks like the queen? What if he made the homunculus after the queen died to look like the queen? I'm sure he was. Having gotten the information I was looking for, I cast about for a way to politely end the conversation. Thank you for taking the time to answer my questions. I shall not impose upon you any longer. Good day, Master Rosencreuss. Sala curtsies towards me and returns to the window. In the garden, I can see the Lord Regent still trying to fend off the ring of noblemen encircling him. Alright, let's see. So we can totally do this mission now. Yeah, we can do this one now. The discreet inquiries I had made at the palace have borne fruit at last. The quartermasters found the family of the captain of my escort that night. With the death of the family's main breadwinner, the good captain's wife and their daughters have moved back to the countryside of Spelor. Nobody knew how they have been coping since. I decided to pay the bereaved a visit to offer them my condolences and my gratitude. More practically, I also wanted to find out if there was anything I could do to help the widow and her children. The princes had helped me in preparing small gifts, just simple offerings of flowers, food, and the like. I did not want to insult them with the gift of money, for their loss had been much greater than that. However, if such was what they needed, I was prepared to be generous with the salary I am earning as royal tutor. When I presented myself to the front door, the widow was inclined to be standoffish at first. After I managed to convince her of my sincerity and good intentions, she invited me for tea, and we had a frank discussion about her family situation. They were currently living on the savings accumulated in happier days, and the widow was looking for an adequate job to support her children. I had offered to arrange a position for her in the palace's housekeeping staff and for her daughters to enter the Royal Military Orphanage. Normally, it was only open to the orphans of the aristocratic war, but as their father had been a commissioned officer and died on active duty, I would have been able to stretch the point. Alas, she rejected my offer. At length, she told me that she was glad the one her husband died for was such a sensible young person. However, she had no intention of moving back to the capital and wanted to live a simple life with her family. In the end, I could only convince her that I would talk to Prince Nazir and find a suitable occupation for her at Speller. It wasn't much, but I also made them promise to seek me out if the needs arise. Returning to the palace, I sincerely hope they'll be all right. I'm muttering quietly to myself, reviewing the syllabus for today's class, when a voice catches my attention. Could that be Aurelius? With whom is he speaking? Careful not to be spotted, I watch as Aurelius stands next to a large marble bust, engaged in conversation whilst oblivious to the world. His conversation partner, however, remains half hidden from view behind the bust. Neither of them has noticed me, nor does it seem like they will. Unable to help myself, I peer more closely at the two. Sala? Long hair flashing in sunshine, sharp-tipped ears tucked underneath, a gentle expression that calms the soul. There's no mistaking it. The woman he's speaking with is Sala, my personal servant. What business does he have with her? Why are they standing so close together? And is Aurelius genuinely smiling? No! Etiquette fail! Bro, why do I keep failing all of my checks around him? I'm going insane. Only one way to find out. Oh my god. I walk up to the pair and utter a polite greeting. Oh my god. Good day. Master Rosenkreuz. The duo turns to me. Sala's smiling and Aurelius, not so much. Oh my god, dude, I'm going insane. Why do I keep failing all of my checks around him? Why? What do you want? Snarking at me the moment he sees me. If it was anyone else other than Prince Aurelius, I would have deemed this event suspicious. Nothing in particular. What are you two talking about? Please excuse me, Your Highness. Master Rosenkreuz wishes to discuss matters with you, so I will bid my adieus and be out of your way. No! Oh my god, am I right that she actually looks like the late queen? And that's why he was happy talking to her, because it like reminds him of like talking to his mom or whatever. You're not in the way. Sala merely smiles again and curtsies gracefully. In a delicate fashion, she then turns and walks away, leaving me gaping wordlessly after her. Well, hope you have a good reason for interrupting us. Sorry, I had no idea. I was only wondering why Sala was talking to you. She asks about how I am sometimes. It's nothing out of the ordinary. A servant not assigned to a prince casually asking after his well-being is something out of the ordinary. Said prince replying to and even being friendly with the servant is even more out of the ordinary. And that prince being Prince Aurelius, out of all people, makes it the most out of ordinary event I've ever seen. Needless to say, I keep those thoughts to myself. I don't need to be engaging in another sparring match. So that's why Sala left so quickly. She doesn't want her personal concerns towards the prince to be widely known about the palace. Aurelius, on the other hand, doesn't look like he cares all that much. Sala's been working in the palace for as long as I can remember. She's always been a caring and devoted companion to my brothers and I wonder how old Sala actually is. She doesn't look that much older than Aurelius, but from what he said, she must be at least old enough to be his mother. It's amazing how Homunculus's appearance always stays the same, no matter how much time has passed. An envious trait, indeed. I see. Do you now? Good. Aurelius straightens his posture with an abrupt motion and nods curtly in the direction of the study. Well, shall we be heading to class? Yes. Side by side, we walked down the corridor in silence, not exchanging another word along the entire way there. Oh my fucking god, bro. Why do I only fumble around him? He's the only one I've failed my checks against. It's insane. I'm going crazy. Alright, let's see. Let's check the missions. Nazir needs 20 fire. Do we have that? He does. He does have that. Oh, we can also do... Oh. There we go. Oh, and Nazir can do herb soup, huh? Could be handy. Noodle soup. We're a little too broke for that. Healing salve. Okay. Okay. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. Through the village of Speller, it's known for its idyllic pastoral countryside. It is one of the most important bread baskets of the kingdom. Unfortunately, owing to rapacious nobles and tax farmers, Speller's rural infrastructure and economy are close to collapsing. Its recent harvests have been worryingly poor. With food reserves and morale in Speller at an all-time low, Nazir believes more needs to be done if disasters to be averted for certain. To that end, he has approached me for help. I've gathered the ingredients for making an herbal stew that provides healing and sustenance to those who consume it. The entire palace is helping with preparations, but Nazir is working the hardest of all, keeping the alchemical fire needed to boil the stew going day and night. Poor Nazir. I don't think he has had a wink of sleep the past 2 days, and he looks as if he's close to collapsing. I approached Nazir today and offered to take over for him so he can catch a break. Nazir laughingly refused, but asked if we could relocate operations to the kitchen. See, I passed that check. Common fire, he points out, should work as well as their alchemical common part. I countered that common fire does not work as well as alchemical fire. Spreading the degree of heat perfectly even throughout the stew is key to its successful concoction. Moreover, this is an excellent chance for him to practice his magical skills and train his endurance. Finally, I reminded him what the nobles will say if they caught us sweating and scurrying into the kitchen. Nazir nods in agreement, thumped me in the back, and called me a very sound fellow, and begged me to bring him a bottle of extremely strong restorative potion before he drops dead on his feet. I electrifying. Speller's weekly income has increased. Finding myself unexpectedly having a few moments of free time to myself, I decided to head to the palace library to read up on some research material. The library is quiet and deserted at this hour. I smiled to myself and wandered through its old oaken shelves, breathing in the sweet, musky scent of wood and old parchment. As I approach the back of the library, my eyes are caught by the sight of an elegant figure slouched on a chair inside an alcove tucked between 2 shelves. Prince Durin is reading a formidable-looking tome, his brow creased into a deep frown. As I look, his mouth soundlessly forms in few words as he shakes his head slowly. I take a step toward him, a greeting beginning to form on my lips, but then I draw back again. The prince's attention is wholly devoted to the book, and I would not like to disturb him when he's so obviously occupied. On the other hand, he looks troubled by what he's reading, and as well as his tutor, I do have the obligation to help him if he needs help. I squint at the book, but due to the angle the Prince Durin is holding it, I cannot make out the title or the author. It seems like if I want to find out anything about this, I will have to ask him myself. Charisma fail? Bro, what? I've been doing so hard on my charisma.
Oh my fucking god. Why is my character so fucking useless? You dumb fuck.
You dumb. You keep failing everything. I know I have good charisma stats, bro. My charisma is my 2nd highest stat. Oh no, it's my 3rd highest stat. It's tied for 3rd. What do you mean? Who's controlling? That's not my fault, dude. Look at my stats. It's a good stat. Social skills, yeah. And then, but for some reason, you know. Oh my god. I had not noticed you. Are you worried about something, Your Highness? It's not my fault he's failing the checks, because I'm giving him charisma lessons. He's increasing, he just fucks it up. Sounds a bit like, I'll kill you, Leon. No, I'm joking. Don't fight me right now, dude. I'm so pissed. No, I wouldn't say I am. Why do you ask? You were frowning and muttering to yourself, so I thought you must be troubled by what you were reading. I see. Please do not worry. I was not troubled, merely engrossed. Even as he's speaking, his brows are smoothing back into their usual inscrutably placid lines. I was so engrossed, in fact, that I had not noticed time flying by. I apologize for having to cut our conversation short, but I need to get back to my regular duties. Certainly, Your Highness. Don't let me detain you a moment further. Thank you for your concern, Master Rosenkreuz, but I can assure you I'm perfectly fine. He gets up from his chair and makes a polite bow. Please accept my excuses, Master Rosenkreuz. Goodbye, Your Highness. Saren tucks the book under his arm and walks away. Before he leaves, I manage to catch a glimpse of the title, Travelogue to Marin. I knit my brow, wondering why such a simple travelogue warranted such concentration attention from the prince. Putting the prince and his mysterious book out of mind, I plunge back into the maze of bookshelves, returning to my original intention of finding a few books on military strategy to study. Now, where do they put that dreadful Garld's Guide to Modern Siege Weapons again? I would have asked Prince Seren when I had the chance. Can't catch a break, dude. I'm going insane. I struggle to write anything. Beyond the assurance of my well-being and hopes that they are similarly of sound mind and body, my half-written letters sound contrived. I imagine that great travels naturally bred great stories, but my blank paper mocks the very notion. Since my last letter, the state of Eskia, the princes, and even my own works hold nothing noteworthy, but my last correspondence was eons ago. I fear they will worry for me. Oh my god, it's a fucking... They need to stop doing this knocking sound effect because it's actually tripping me out. I sigh in relief at the knock and set my pen aside, grateful for the distraction. Come in. Master Rosenkreuz? Homunculus steps into my room and curtsies in my presence. I regard her curiously. How may I help you, Sala? By the way things are going, it doesn't look like Dary's gonna be able to riz anyone. You shut your mouth. I'm gonna win. Just watch. It's just it's an underdog story, you know? Next week, the royal family shall depart on their annual tour of Eskia. Annual tour? Sala nods in confirmation. Previously, the king toured the entirety of his kingdom once a year, visiting loyal lords and spending time among his faithful commoners. It's a much-beloved tradition, so the Lord Regent and the princes wish to continue it. I see. With the princes absent, I could find far more time for my work, or to perhaps relax. But I bear a message. After a pause, she tilts her head in thought. Actually, 2 messages. Oh, well, let's hear them. Both Prince Seren and Prince Nazir asked me to extend you a personal invitation to accompany them. You mean together? No, the 2 requests were separate. Their itineraries vary slightly, so you'll need to choose which prince to accompany. Yeah, so basically I didn't do well at all with Aurelius. I fucked my shit with Aurelius, but apparently I still have a chance with Seren, so I guess we gotta go for my fucking cousin, dude. Gotta go for Seren at this point. I shake my head, amused. What of Prince Aurelius? It was expected that he didn't extend the same courtesy. Then again, if he had, I would have had to bring my sword just in case. Prince Aurelius typically joins the rest of the family later. I look to her for answers, or any desire to elaborate, but her expression is as inscrutable and demure as ever. That is everything, Master Rosenkreuz. Please do let the princess know your choice as soon as possible. Thank you, Sala. The homunculus curtsies and takes her leave. Let's see. Who should I accompany? Prince Seren, Prince Nazir, or stay back and rest? Stop it, Leonix. Don't bully me right now. I'm very delicate of heart today, okay? Let's stay back and rest, maybe? And then we'll use that time to maybe have a chance to join Prince Aurelius later. After these hectic few weeks, time to relax and recharge will do me wonders. Besides, this tour was meant for the Essians to connect with the royal family, not outsiders such as myself. No doubt that the invitations are only a formality. Turning back to my desk, I complete my responses to the princes, then set them aside. For now, the letter to father remains half-written. I can only hope that the events following these next few weeks will change that fate. Alright, let's see. We're good on those. And then knock off beauty and replace it with more intelligence. We'll keep our charisma strong, combat. Or should I go leadership? No, we need more combat, I think. Unless, we could do 2 intelligence and then 1 charisma. That's what we'll do. And then... increase your wood, will increase your fire, and will increase your water. There we go. There we go. New missions are now available. The palace has become increasingly silent in the days preceding the grand tour. The nobles, courtiers, and pages that normally crowd the pillared halls and marble chambers are all but gone. I imagine they've all returned to their own castles and fiefs, prepping to host the royal family, should they choose to make a visit. Raphael explained that the tour was considered a holiday for the maids, cooks, and other palace servants, as almost no one remained to make meals or tidy up after. Everyone may use it to return to their families, only to join them on the streets of their little hamlets and burgs, excited to catch a glimpse of the same royals they otherwise attended to. But perhaps there is some worth in seeing the familiar from a new perspective, or with different company. I muse on this stroll through the deserted hallways. Sala woke me up early as I instructed her. Despite the day being mine to do as I please, I do not wish to waste it sleeping. What's more, the morning is turning out to be a beautiful one, perfect for catching up on some reading in the gardens. I think of the party gathering by the gates and wonder with amusement if they have taken their leave, knowing Prince Nazir. That seems unlikely. Well, well, aren't we up bright and early? The total surprise of hearing Nazir's voice freezes me in place momentarily, so I almost forget my manners. There he stands, clearly waiting to intercept me. He's beaming at me, not a dark bag under his eyes, nor a sleepiness to his mood. I smile and give him an exaggerated bow. Your Highness, I hope you permit me some astonishment at seeing you awake so early. He lets out an exasperated sigh and gives me a look as if I've wronged him, but as I meet his eyes, I see absolutely no offense taken. The exasperation then soon shifts to eagerness. I'm glad I managed to catch you. There's someone you need to meet. But the tour isn't... I'm afforded no further protest, as Nazir hooks an arm around my shoulder and gently steers me down a corridor. I realize we're both headed for the wings normally reserved for the various noble houses that stay at court. Some have permanent apartments within their family insignias imprinted on the doors. Right now, they are all almost universally empty, locked or closed, their occupants having returned to their holdings. This way. The chamber he leads me to, a small one in the corner, is clearly still occupied and the door is slightly ajar. I glance at the house sigil and frown, attempting to remember my Burke's peerage. A recent arrival? The House Utes? Yes? How knowledgeable, as expected. If I recall correctly, this minor border fiefdom should have been too small to have a presence at court, at least under normal circumstances. However, it appears they have established themselves as ambassadors to the neighboring kingdom of Marin. Why would Prince Nazir desire, almost excitedly so, for me to meet them? At first, the apartment seems empty, save for a few chambermaids, and then a voice calls out excitedly from the other end of the hall. Nazir, you're back! Oh my god, she's so cute! For a moment, I mistake the voice's owner for a child, if only because of their gentle tone. However, the person who rushes to join us is clearly a young lady. My apologies. She claps her hand together, tilting her head ever so slightly. Her big and sparkling eyes regard me curiously, and her youthful cheeks flush. Lady Ishbel of House Utes, allow me to introduce you to Dere of House Rosenkreuz. I bow and she curtsies. On closer inspection, I realize that she's very nearly our age. My dear Dere is our esteemed royal tutor, and to our great luck, a companion and confidant. Nazir winks at me as I struggle to keep the smile off my face. House Rosenkreuz. The clan of the people capable of using all 6 branches of magic, correct? Yes, which puts me in a very advantageous position with regards to tutoring the princes. That's incredible! Actually, I heard that the Rosenkreuz always marry their cousins in order to keep the bloodline pure. this true? Oh my god, is the game telling me I had to go for Sarin now? Huh? My mouth falls open in surprise at the girl's directness. From the corner of my eye, I notice some of the chambermaids try and linger longer than necessary to eavesdrop. I have faced such questions many times, but never from a lady or lord. Although not necessarily a stupid question, it is one of such impropriety, and at our first meeting no less, that I now understand why I haven't met this young lady in court thus far. My gaze flickers uncomfortably to Nazir, who only grins back. I sigh heavily. No, we do not. Anyone who carries the faintest trace of Rosencroix's blood, even from generations many decades apart, can be born with or awakened to our powers. Is that so? Do you have any other suitors, then? That is... I flush darkly as Nazir leans forward in earnest, dying to hear the answer. As the silence continues, my lips remain pinched, and with much disappointment, he gives me an obvious pout. Desperate for a change of subject, I blurt the first thing that comes to mind. So, Lady Ishbel, is that a faint accent I detect? Suddenly self-aware, Lady Ishbel blushes and fiddles with her hands. When she speaks up again, the accent is absent. My father, our fief, sits close to the border. We often entertain ambassadors from Marin. I must have picked it up from them. Oh my god. Intelligence fail. Why? My intelligence is so high. What are you talking about? It's by far my highest rank stat. Why am I failing every single check? I'm going crazy. Oh my god. It's so great a distance, and alas, we shall be unable to make a visit. Lucky for us, Lady Ishbel came herself and will remain here for the time being. I see. I'm so annoyed. Why do I keep failing everything? I'm so pissed. How thoughtful of the princess to include you in his tour. Lady Ishbel blushes with delight and shares a look with Prince Nazir that I'm not entirely sure how to parse. Speaking of inclusion in the tour, look who's up and about. Nazir looks over my shoulder, and when I turn, I spot Prince Aurelius walking swiftly down the corridor. He does not seem overly pleased to see us and hesitates for a moment, as if deciding on means to elude us. Yet still, since his only options are to pass or retrace his steps, he continues forward. After standing on her tiptoes, trying to glance over my shoulder and failing, Lady Ishbel steps aside and gasps when she sees the prince. Prince Aurelius, good morning! I slightly frown at the volume of her voice. In the corner of my eye, I notice the chambermaids lingering about once more. The palace's servants are so idle today, I should put them to work later. Your Highness. I bow my head, and Aurelius returns it, pointedly avoiding Lady Ishbel's greeting. Rosencreutz, brother. Before I can reply, he's already passed us, striding with purpose towards the gardens. Lady Ishbel, looking as if she had been struck by lightning, turns back to us with a dejected frown. Nazir chuckles warmly at her. Was there something wrong with my greeting? Nothing wrong at all, Lady Ishbel. My brother is just, well, a bit particular. Don't you agree, Dere? Oh my god, etiquette fail. Ugh. Can this stupid fucking character do anything right? I'm like going insane. God. It would be wrong to speak ill of Prince Aurelius, especially when he's still within earshot. Servant approval down. He simply has a different approach than Prince Nazir. Oh, so now it's my fault. Nazir gives his signature broad smile, and Lady Ishbel looks wide-eyed from one of us to the other. Like, I'm so... I need to drink some fucking water, dude. This game is out to get me. Did I do something wrong or not? I clear my throat, glancing at the light streaming in through the windows. Your Highness, you will be late for the outing if you tarry much longer. Nazir dismissively waves his hand. Nonsense, there's still plenty of time, but if you wish to leave... I must admit, I did have some other engagements. I smile and give Lady Ishbel a small bow. Lady Ishbel, it's been a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, it's been lovely making your acquaintance as well.
Your Highness, I hope you will enjoy the tour. Always do. You enjoy your time off, huh? He winks, and I leave the two of them merrily chatting. Somehow, without thinking, I find myself following the path that Prince Aurelius took towards the gardens. As I step out into the greenery, I'm met with brilliant early morning sunlight and an almost otherworldly sense of solitude. The gardeners appear to have taken the day off, and there are none of the usual society ladies or courtiers lounging about. Holding the book I had chosen to read in one hand, I allow myself to stroll in peace, growing happy with my decision to forego the tour at each small thing I notice. That's when I hear music resonating through the still air. Delicate plucks of a string not made anywhere close to Eschia combine into staccato rhythm that somehow makes me nostalgic. I follow the music to the pavilion at the heart of the garden, abandoned as well, save for a single figure. For a split second, I almost don't recognize him to be Prince Aurelius. The enchanting music projects from a wing of the palace facing the garden's center. I see the ajar window from which the melancholy sound exudes, but no musician. I hesitate. Prince Aurelius sits with his profile to me, but has yet to notice my presence. I could speak with him, perhaps apologizing for Lady Ishbel's behavior, but the way he seems to listen so raptly makes me feel like an intruder. Still, the music is beautiful, strange, and calming at once. Wishing to hear more, I find a bench just a few steps away and take a seat. I open the book to read, but the haunting melody instead transports me into lands I had previously only learned of in my studies. I recall a faded watercolor image lovingly preserved in one of my father's history books, originally from a land far to the east. A gentle cherry blossom tree, a frothing sea, and in the back a snow-capped mountain. The people stand upon steps beneath delicate wooden art, their exotically dark hair expertly tinged with blue by the artist. I frown, glancing up at Prince Aurelius, imagining him standing among them in a wisteria robe, arms tucked in his sleeve. He and the Lord Regent both.
Sleepy? Aw, you getting cozy? Yeah.
Good morning, Master Rosencreutz. I muffle a yelp of surprise so as to not draw my attention to myself. Harris is smirking at having startled me, of course. I had been so engrossed in my fantasies that I had not noticed his presence. Without asking for an invitation, he sits beside me and gives a quizzical look. I assumed you would have gone out with the other princes today. For the tour? No, I think my time is better spent catching up on all the work I have piling up.
Yeah, sweet dreams, Jacob. Good night, good night.
I lift the book I was supposed to start reading, but Harris barely acknowledges it. Instead, he nods towards the window and the music streaming through it. Beautiful, isn't it? Very. Are you familiar with it? The instrument is a stringed, a kind of harp that lays upon the floor from a country far, far to the east. I've read of them, but this is my first time I've had the pleasure of hearing one. The final note rings out and silence descends upon us. For a brief while, it feels like I should give a round of applause toward such talent, but Harris rises from his seat. Please excuse me. I need to prepare for the prince's departure. Of course. Where is he going? To join the others on the tour, of course. He nods at me. Master Rosencreutz. I nod back and watch as he leaves. Aurelius sits very still until Harris arrives. I notice how delicately the servant makes his presence known. I look away, once more conscious of how empty the garden is. When I look up from my book again, the two men are gone, and I am alone. I let out a sigh, staring at the dark open window, wondering about the musician that never showed their face. At the day's end, I return to my chambers, feeling relaxed and energetic, more so than ever. The palace quickly returns to life, nobles and their servants slowly streaming back to court. By tomorrow, all shall be back to normal. Despite the late hour, I do not feel ready yet for bed. After setting a few candles alight about the room, I sit at my desk and re-examine my unfinished letter. Taking out my pen, I dip it in ink and begin writing. Dear Father, I have much to tell you and only so much space to do so on this parchment. Let's see. Could do Aurelius. Yeah, I guess we'll make the bomb. Yeah, let's make a bomb. Alright, and then... we have... oh, we do have one. I don't think he's high enough in water. Is he? Oh, he is. But I think we actually need to... I need to boost my shit because I keep failing everything. It's driving me insane. Let's do... etiquette. And then... darkness is pretty good. Will the bomb help your seduction score? If all else fails, I'll just, you know, fucking explode myself, I guess. If I get rejected, I can just explode, so it's fine. That's my backup plan. And then... you know what, let's boost your other attributes on this run. There we go. And then... yeah, we'll do that. It doesn't help that it's like random with the amount that you'll actually gain out of these. So I only got +2 intelligence, which is the lowest scoring thing on this entire board. I just... why is my luck so bad in this game? Okay. Well, if all else fails, I'll just explode. I hum quietly to myself as I sieve the last package of powdered mandrake root into a flask. It bubbles over the tripod on the table that serves as my makeshift laboratory. That should complete the recipe for the restorative potion. All I have to do now is sit back and let it simmer for a few minutes. After it's done, I should go for a walk in the palace garden. It's a beautiful day. I sigh contentedly and close my eyes, allowing my face and neck to bask in the mellow sunshine. Usually by this time, the restorative ought to have cooled down enough to be bottled. However, I must have used a little too much heat when making the concoction because I can still hear the flask shaking on the table. In fact, the shaking is not diminishing in strength. If anything, it's becoming more and more violent. I open my eyes. The soothing cerulean color of the potion is rapidly giving way to an angry red. An angry red that is furthermore starting to glow? Before my consciousness fully registers what's going on, I find my body moving of its own volition, born of an instinct drilled into me by countless hours of lectures. With one hand, I knock over a crate containing rough sand and snap a wind spell, scattering the sand over the floor. With another, I grab a pole on which a tweezer is mounted, clamp the flask tightly, and turn my face away to the wall. Hurl. Kaboom! My eardrums feel like they have been shattered by the noise of the blast. But curiously, the explosion does not seem to have caused much heat or light. Cautiously, I turn back to examine the study. The flask exploded in midair, shattering the glass into mostly harmless grains of fine dust. The burning liquid that might, in a happier experiment, have been a restorative potion has been sprayed across the room. Most of it fell onto the floor where it was soaked up by the sand. Not, unfortunately, at all. I stick my hand on my hips and survey the little scorch marks on my study, the walls, and the bookshelf. Could have been much worse. I guess I'll have to buy new shelves. Bother. I wonder what happened. That wasn't the first time I've made a restorative potion, and I'm fairly sure I got all the ingredients right. I should have mixed them in the proper steps as well. I kneel down near a gooey patch of sand and gingerly scoop up some of the orange-red substance on it, my face for a closer study. It doesn't smell right. It smells kind of like... What's going on? Heavy boots stamp through the door of my study, cutting short my train of thought. A cohort of heavily armed guardsmen troop into the room. Just by looking at their uniforms, I noticed it's the council's garrison. Thought I heard something. Ugh, what is that smell? What the hell happened in here? I stand up, inclining my head courteously at their leader. Good afternoon, Captain. I was trying to make a restorative potion when... Great, more useless distractions. I beg your pardon? I don't know about you, Rosencreuss, but my time at least is precious. My polite smile disappears instantly as the garrison's voice spits my name, disregarding the respect I deserve as a council delegate of equal standing at him, if not at higher. We've been tasked to investigate the murder of the king. The last thing we need is some fool of an alchemist blowing up the castle while we're searching for clues. I carefully observe the man. It's been almost 12 moon cycles since part of the council garrison has been sent to Eskia to search for clues relating to the king's assassination. And despite them being the faction considered the High Council's most powerful intelligence source, they haven't been able to find any hints. The appearance of me, a council's alchemist of a different faction than theirs, might be putting them on edge much more than it should, and he might not be choosing his words carefully. I assure you my time is precious too. The restorative potion... To hell with your restorative potion. The sooner useless leeches like yourself clear out of our way. I am not a useless leech, and I resent the insinuation. Oh, you resent the insinuation, don't you? Hear him, lads. He resents the insinuation, he does. He doesn't think he's a useless leech. He might even believe he has worthwhile things to teach their highnesses. Oh dear, did we hurt the poor baby Precious's little dignity? That elicits a few chuckles from his men. I feel myself coloring. Something feels off. The garrison happens to be carrying out their investigation near my study at precisely the time when I'm doing alchemy to create a potion I've made thousands of times before, but which mysteriously went wrong. There are too many coincidences involved in this, and I don't believe in these kinds of coincidences. I know my appointment isn't popular with the garrison or their backers of the Eskian nobility. I wonder, could it be that I was sabotaged? I think we need to play off the incident right now. We don't have enough information right now. It would be bad to voice our concerns without evidence. If nothing, I can take advantage of the fact that he has no idea how restorative potions are made. I don't understand. What's wrong? Why are you acting like a perfect brute? What's wrong is that we had to cut short our investigation in a matter vitally important to the kingdom. For the sake of some greenhorn charlatan who can't make a whatchamacallit potion without it exploding. Of course I can. Forgive me if I'm not convinced. How do you explain this and this and this? He gestures to the scorched marks around the room with angry stabbing motions. What do you mean? Explain them. The garrison captain clutches his head and groans, staring at the ceiling. The good shades grant me patience. Fine, fine, you Rosenkreutz. You'll go bald prematurely if you keep tearing your hair out like that. You did not mean for the restorative potion to explode, right? Of course I did. You did? Sure. I realized this afternoon that the ingredients for making restorative potions are fairly similar to those for making an elemental balm. I'm never drinking one of those potions ever again. So I wanted to find out under what conditions, if any, a restorative potion can be brought to a state of volatility. And the expectation, naturally, that it could either be altered or enhanced to also serve as an emergency weapon. Huh. If I were you, I'd do my state of volatility tests outdoors rather than in. Not much harm done, Captain. The ingredients are only fairly similar, and we alchemists have always taken very scientific interest in adjusting the degree of alteration to the compounds we use. What you said sounds like it means nothing. What I said did mean nothing, but I only smile condescendingly and speak exaggeratedly slowly, as though to a small child. If there had actually been any risk of real damage, I would, of course, have taken the apparatus outdoors. But as you can see, everything is under control, yes? The man glares at me balefully under his bristling eyebrows. I offer him my blandest smile in return. I do not think my bluff has convinced him, but the rest of his men seem noticeably less tense than a moment earlier. And more importantly, I managed to worm my way out of an accident with my reputation, and the reputation of alchemists intact, if not enhanced. The garrison captain opens his mouth to argue another point. What is going on here? The formidable-looking bulk that is Garion, Marshal of the Kingdom and the right hand of the late king, strides in the room, scowling blackly. Lord Marshal, my men and I heard an odd noise coming from this room and immediately came to investigate. And what did your investigation reveal? Rosen, the royal tutor told us. I presume the royal tutor is capable of speech. I was making a restorative potion, which exploded. That's right. Anyone dead? Not as far as I can tell. Hurt? Maimed? No, Lord Marshal. The study's still intact, the palace not burning down, as you can see. Well, then what is the problem? He whirls upon the ashen-faced garrison captain in a towering fit of rage. Nothing, my Lord Marshal, absolutely nothing at all. Why are you wasting your time on nothing at all? You have a job to do. Find out who killed our king. Have you found out who killed our king? No, Lord Marshal. My men and I had better start pulling your weight before the Regency Council reconsiders your commission. Understand? Dismissed, Captain. He snarls the final word and turns his back on them, dismissing them utterly from his attention. The garrison captain bows obsequiously to his commander and, with a last glare at me, leads his men out the study. Shame. We were just starting to become friends. I can only keep them off your back for so long. I look at Garion, a little astonished. From my limited interactions with the man, I know he's not one for small talk, but this amount of forthrightness is bordering on the verge of rudeness. They're out for your blood, the garrison and the nobility both, and I can't always keep them at bay. I'm grateful for all the effort you've made, Lord Marshal. Don't thank me. Thank the Lord Regent. I may not agree with the council's decision to appoint you as the royal tutor, but my job is to keep the peace in the castle, and I intend to do my job. A commendable resolution, Lord Marshal. Garion is already walking away as he tosses out the last few words at me. So don't make my job any harder than it already is. Keep out of Garrison's way, all right? I understand. My words are drowned out by the sound of my study door slamming shut. Rough, dude. It's rough. All right, let's see. Prince Aurelius asked me to spy on his devoted manservant Harris? The caravan route to Zephylos were blocked by a landslide, causing delays to the trade between the capital and the mining town. Oh, we can do this one. We do have the bomb, and I'm pretty sure he does have 25 water. Let me check, though, real quick. Yeah, he does. Okay. So let's do this one. A landslide has blocked off the caravan route leading to the remote mining town of Zephylos. In result, the kingdom was left without access to its most crucial source of iron and copper. Since Zephylos has fallen under jurisdiction of the Prince Aurelius, the region has assigned him a company of guardsmen carrying out chemical bombs as demolition charges. Their mission is to clear away the landslide and make the road open for travel again. The prince and his escort are due to set off today, and at the last minute he abruptly asked me to accompany him. We were able to make good speed on our journey, reaching the site of the landslide by early evening. Under Prince Aurelius's careful eye, the guardsmen set off the bombs in well-spaced and well-controlled demolitions, slowly but steadily blowing apart the debris left by the landslide. Soon, most of the road was cleared and our job seemed almost done. That's when disaster struck. Eager to finish the job quickly and go home, one of the teams set too many bombs as demolition charge and ignited them too quickly. At first, nothing untoward happened. The remainder of the debris were destroyed, and there were even a few cheers. Then, an ominous rumbling sound came from the cliffs towering high above us. Combat fail. Oh my fucking god. It's always... I'm going crazy. The sheer horror of the sight of falling rocks kept me rooted to the ground and my mind a helpless blank. At the last moment, I tried to cast wind magic in a desperate attempt to slow down the descent of the landslide and give the guardsmen time to get away, but it was in vain. Are these all dice rolls? I feel like they have to be at this point. I'm like actually going insane with how fucking often I keep failing everything. And the servant's approval goes down to, of course. Only a few men escaped in time. Almost 2/3 of the company, including everyone in the team whose recklessness had caused the second landslide, were crushed under the falling boulders. He ordered the survivors to begin clearing away the second landslide, telling them they would work through the night if that's what it takes. Turning to me, however, he tells me to return to the palace and bring word to the Lord Marshal about the casualties that have been sustained today. Maybe it's all an intelligence check and you were doomed from the start? No, because my intelligence is like my highest stat. Look at that. It's 28. And then sure, my combat's 11, but it's not that bad. But everything, like, I've been doing my best to, like, keep all of my shit balanced. But even whenever I was trying to keep everything balanced, I was like, nope, you failed. Actually, you failed. Actually, you failed this check too. Actually, you also failed this check. Did you think about failing this check? You thought you would pass this check because that's your highest stat, but actually you failed this one too. And can just anything fucking work? I'm, like, actually getting mad. What was the plus two? It doesn't fucking matter because I failed all of my checks. So fuck me, I guess. I don't know. I'm walking along the hallway on the back to my bedroom when I hear something clatter loudly inside the hall to my right. I start a little at the unexpected noise, my heart pounding uneasily. I'd rather this game just fucking kill me already. I'd rather it just give me a fucking death ending already so I can get it over with and start a new game because I'm actually getting really fucking annoyed. First the assassins, then the conspiring nobles, next the exploding potion, and today, this. Whatever this may be. Under ordinary circumstances, I would have ignored the noise and went on my way, but the events of the past few weeks have put me on edge. Determined to investigate what is going on, I tiptoe towards the door. My fingers close around the knob and I turn it quietly. Who's there? I shout as I push open the door, bracing myself for the ambush I'm sure is coming. I say, who's that? Oh, Master Rosenkreuz, thank goodness it's just you. Prince Nazir gives me a mock salute, the shocked expression on his face having quickly transformed into a grin of relief. Next to him, a pretty maid, her face completely crimson, is trying to smooth her crumpled dress. Come to think of it, Prince Nazir's normally impeccable attire is also a little in disarray. Oh my god, were they about to fuck in here? Around their feet lay a dozen pieces of silver cutlery and the remains of what used to be the porcelain rack that once held them. Prince Nazir is holding a silver spoon, which he swiftly tucks behind his back with a boyish grin. Your Highness, may I ask what you were up to? You and her were up to, what you were doing? We can't explain exactly. What were we doing again? The maid shuffles her feet, looking everywhere in the room except Prince Nazir and I, and does not speak. I thought I saw... You saw! Dash it could have told me sooner. I thought I saw you two polishing some silverware. You did! You did! Yes, polishing silverware was exactly what we were doing. Isn't that right? The maid inclines her head ever so slightly and makes a soft whimper that could perhaps be interpreted as yes. High five. Are you sure helping her was the only thing you were doing? No, that is, Your Highness. Terry, the very idea! What else could I have been doing? Nazir directs his most charming smile, and despite everything, I cannot help but smile back in return. So relieved it's you, my dear, rather than anyone else. You're a decent sport, have I ever told you that? Prince Nazir laughs and winks at me, and like a fool, I can feel my smile widening. Now I suppose I better scamper right away before someone less understanding pops up, right? Yes, Your Highness, you had better. There you are, Your Highness. Harris storms into the room, his brow furrowed together in an impressively bristling V. Do not the hired help. Oh dear, Harris, old man. What an unexpected pleasure. How's my prodigal brother, the black sheep of the family, Aurelius? He's perfectly well, Your Highness, and what's more, busy doing his duties. Unlike the maids. Duties? Never heard of them. Tastes good with milk? Your Highness, please. Harris narrows his eyes while actually glaring at the prince. It's the very first time I've seen the man wearing a clear emotion except for amusement. Raphael's been looking all over the palace for you. It's about a matter of considerable urgency, yet here you are doing heaven knows what with the domestic help. I was polishing the silverware, wasn't I, Dere? To the best of my knowledge. Polishing the silverware. A prince polishing the silverware. Oh my god. No, I'm not trying to quit. No. I should just close the game and reopen it. For what reason do we hire maid servants if not to polish the silverware? You absolutely forced me to take a stab at it, sweeping the floor, perhaps? Sweeping the floor. Very good, Your Highness. Very amusing. You see me bent over in mirth, unable to catch my breath. I've always fancied a splendid sense of humor as one of my most attractive traits. Nazir deflects Harris's glare with his usual deceptively gormless grin. Oh my god, and I failed this check too. Just kill me, man. Just kill me. Just kill me. I'd rather one of them just fucking stab me at this point. Can we please? Can one of you just stab me already so I can start over? Is it appalling to help an overworked maid polish some silverware? That really was what he was doing, you know. Exactly, exactly. A true king is a servant of his people, right? He's a servant of his people, Your Highness, but not a servant himself. You seem upset? Yes, I am. I keep saying this. I'm actually pissed. I'm actually really fucking annoyed. I'm actually really mad and frustrated. Okay? This isn't a bit. I'm actually really fucking annoyed at how often I keep failing at all of these checks. And I am like, maybe 2 failures away from actually crying on stream. And I wish I was joking, but... I don't want to be touched right now. I want to just win. That's what I want. Turning to me, Harris answers my question with a barely concealed impatience. A prince or a king derives a great part of his authority from his prestige. The commoners love a king who has prestige, the army follows him, his counselors listen to him, and the nobility kneel before him. The speech again. Clearly you need reminding, Your Highness. To be seen helping servants polish silverware, or scrub the floor, or clean the stables, if you were seen, rumors of it would soon swirl through the court and beyond. Then the commoners and the nobles alike would lose all respect for you. Were that to happen, you would never command them again. Small loss, never wanted their help in the first place. Consider, Your Highness, the possibility of illegitimate children and future pretenders warring for the throne. Illegitimate children? Future pretenders? Isn't that outcome a little drastic from simply polishing silverware? Suddenly eager to prevent Harris from saying more, Nazir throws an arm around his shoulder and pats his chest. Harris, my dear friend, I admit that I may need the occasional reminder now and then, but does Dere hear? For one moment, the man looks slightly confused before he looks at me, and understanding sinks in. You mean Master Rosenkreutz? Yes, the point is, we have work to do, and I suggest we get down to doing it rather than wasting any more time. What do you think? Harris gapes at him as if unable to credit the sheer audacity of his cheek. Nazir chooses to take his silence as agreement and tugs his arm cheerfully towards the door. Heave-ho! Back to work we go. As the 2 men leave, the maid, forgotten until now, takes the chance to scurry away after them. Shaking my head in bemusement at this incident, I carry on walking back to my bedroom, wondering just what caused the tray of silverware to clatter onto the floor in the first place. God, I'm going crazy, dude. Ugh. Like, what is the point of me learning any of this shit if I keep failing everything? What is the point of my stats if it doesn't even fucking matter at this point because I'm just gonna fail all of my checks? That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Alright, well, charisma's been completely fucking useless to me, so let's replace it with, fucking, I don't know, more combat. I don't care anymore. I'm so done. And then place that with water. Place that with... Well, those are ties. We'll leave that one. And then more wood. No, because I do want to play the game. I do like the game. I'm just pissed that I keep failing all of the time. That's like what I'm annoyed with. It's not that the game is not good. I do enjoy the game. I just wish it would be more, how do you say, like, forgiving with the checks, the skill checks. You know? Yeah, let me hydrate. I look up from the dim lamp-lit notes on my desk where I've been scribbling lecture notes for tomorrow's lesson. Who could it be at this hour? Knock, knock. Whoever it is, he isn't gonna go away. I heave a weary sigh and push myself upright. Oh my god, one moment! I call as I walk towards the door. What an impatient person. I pull the door open, eyeing the young guard standing before me balefully. Good evening, Master Rosenkreuz. Good evening. What can I do for you? I'm a guardsman in the retinue of Prince Aurelius. He wants me to convey to you his urgent desire to meet you immediately. How to get... Oh my god, intelligence... Can this stupid fucking character do anything right? Okay. He's admittedly not the most considerate of his masters. All the same, I do wish the prince would stop summoning me at these ungodly hours. Dude, this is so suspicious. You know what? Fine, just kill me already. I know this is a trap, and I've already failed the fucking intelligence check. Just drag me out into the middle of the fucking hallway and just stab me already at this point. Like, I'm so... Oh well, if you're ready to go, so am I. Good, please come with me. The guardsman leads me down the corridor from my room into the arching hallways beyond. The sound of our steps are swallowed into the vast midnight silence. I shiver, not just from the cold. Who are the guards lining the corridor? I don't recognize even one of them. They're certainly not the men from the Lord Regent assigned to me. They're not the men whom I have been given to understand will never be replaced in their duties without the Lord Regent personally informing me. Something is wrong, and I'm mentally kicking myself for not realizing it earlier. These people are not my guards, are not even real guards. They are imposters. I look at the young guardsman leading me, a fresh wave of horror dawning upon me when I realize he's not even carrying a sword. He does not think he needs a sword. He's confident he can restrain me, a Rosenkreuz, without one. He must be a magic user then, and one of no little skill. Things are quickly spiraling just from an annoyingly mild jaunt to downright terrifying. The one advantage I have in my favor is that my opponents take me to be much more stupid than I am. They do not suspect yet that I've seen through their trap. This, as I see it, opens up two courses of action I can take. The first, to be aggressive and strike a forehand blow, attacking them immediately in hopes of catching them by surprise and throwing them off balance sufficiently to make my escape. The second, to be clever and deal a backhanded blow, following them obediently and biding my time until they make their move. Then, retaliating in a surprise counterattack when they are expecting a lulled, unsuspecting prey. We'll follow him for now. It's best to be patient for a while longer. I'll continue following them as if I suspect nothing. Oh my fucking god. Whatever. They're gonna kill me now. Whatever, they're just gonna kill me. Just hurry up and kill me. Yeah. I knew he was gonna die. God forbid anything fucking decent happen. There we go. God. I'm so done. I'm so done. I'm so tired, man. Anyway. Oops, I just closed the game by accident. I hate that there's no confirmation on the exit screen. Oops. You know what? I'm tired. I'm just gonna wrap it up early, dude. I do like the game, but it's really frustrating that it feels like my stats mean nothing when it's kind of just skill checks. I'm gonna go make some biscuits. I'm gonna make some buttered biscuits and some hot cocoa and just chill. I'm gonna chill. Yeah, so I'll just wrap up stream early. Let's see who's online right now. Thanks for holding out. Yeah, it is a good game. I will continue playing the game. I got too frustrated by how often I kept failing everything. Like, what is the point of studying all of the intelligence checks and having such a high intelligence if I'm gonna fail every single intelligence check, you know? Anyway, we're gonna raid. Oh, we'll raid Oka. Oka's online. They need to weigh the dice a little. I know, dude. I know. It's so infuriating. There we go. Okay. So we're going to raid Oka, who's currently playing Final Fantasy. Tomorrow is community night. I will be making you guys watch The Holy Grail of Eris with me. And maybe even the beginning of Cinderella Grey, the Umusume anime. We'll see. But we're definitely watching The Holy Grail of Eris tomorrow. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the Discord for movie night. But if not, no worries. I'll see you when I see you. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. And good night.